The Boston Tea Party.
The Boston Tea Party.
Hi, everyone. The Boston
Tea Party.
Oh my god. Hi, everyone. My name is Speedy. Welcome to NotSoSpeedRuns. Oh my god, I forgot to unmute the stream, but it was perfect because it just meant that everyone was saying the Boston Tea Party over and over.
Boston Tea Party.
Jesus Christ. Hi guys, my name's Speedy. Welcome to NotSoSpeedRuns. We're here playing Blades in the Dark, 6 and 20 Phantom. We're back after last week. God, a lot of things happened in the off time. There were some things that happened that the Shroud did again. Those rascally Shrouds.
Again. Those rascals.
Those damn hooligans.
And they would have put an away for it too if it weren't for those meddling kids.
But we've got some plans of our own in store for today. So let's go ahead and get started by going around to our cast, starting with the man who is currently eating Trendane. Yes, the man. You should probably look around. There'll be someone. Speak up. Come on.
The only one who's down there is MadameGandalf, and I guarantee you I'm not going to let her do it. No offense.
I know when I'm not wanted, it's fine.
It's not that you're not wanted, it's just that I am unbelievably gay, which I guess... I mean, I love you to death, but, you know... And that, I mean, that makes it sound like such a prick. But then you are what you eat. So, hi everybody. I am Trent Sparks. I'm a professional voice actor personage here on the internet. I am playing a whisper named Hocus, who is getting to the moments where he's kind of torn back and forth in what he wants to do to help his friends versus help his family versus just somewhere find a hole that he can just curl up in and hide and never have to deal with anybody. I know I'm getting there. Hang on, be patient. And with that, I will drop these testicles and descend them upon them.
Hi.
Maybe we're dipping them like a tea bag, you know.
Like a tea bag, like the Boston
Tea Party.
So, hi, I'm MadameGandalf. I play Ari, the loose cannon, but also somehow has very incredibly healing hands. I am starting to learn that she's good with her hands in more ways than one. So, yeah, I'm excited for this week because, my goodness, is it going to be... Joff?
Sorry, I was thinking about what you... Never mind. Hi, my name is Joff, and otherwise known as Owlbare, here on Twitch and over on Twitter. And I play Jinx Godeffer, who is a war veteran and something of a myth, except he's kind of been outed by the Shroud. Thank you, guys. And will now be taking on the Monarch. Yes, you in the back.
Didn't you walk into a certain bar last week, baring your arms and just announcing the fact that Jinx Godeffer was back?
Don't think so. I'd remember.
I don't remember that.
Yes, I did out myself, and I started a revolution, and I can't wait to see how that goes. Over to you, Lulu.
Oh, hello, that's me. Hi, my name's Boston Tea. You can find me. I play
in Boston. You can find me in Boston.
Tea Party.
Tea Party. My name's Louise. I'm playing Sling. She's a sharpshooter. She's like 17. She's a bit crazy. She might be slightly possessed by something. There's a whole. She's a wanted woman. There's a lot going on, but things are well. Back to you.
Thanks, Louise. I'm Speedy. I'm playing as Sky, the spider, kind of mastermind who tries somewhat to control this group, and is haunted by the ghost of his sister, who he tries to protect, and is trying very hard to rescue from this spirit bottle from which she is currently contained, without letting her just go free and mad. That is that. Also today I wrote another 2 pages of backstory for Lyra and sent it to Johnny, and he's really mad at me.
Are you sure? You might be saluting you there.
Oh, we're so good at intros, guys.
We're the best because of the Boston Tea Party.
The Boston Tea Party.
We figured out that was why we haven't been sponsored by PG Tips.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's because these Americans had to go
These
to
Americans.
tea over the harbor.
Excuse me. How old do you think I am? I was not there, okay? Look, I'll tell you what. Maybe we can find a way to make up for this. What can we do?
I know. I have a plan. How about, right, we have Coachella, okay? We have this great festival where we all come together. What if, and I'm saying what if we get PG Tips watching, and then we get somebody else to stage the Boston Tea Party to throw the tea over the harbour, and then we stop them, and we are the heroes. History. We reverse history. We reverse the Boston Tea, but the Doskvol Tea Party, and we...
And PG Tips is saved.
I love it. I love it.
I think we have our one-off episode sorted.
Yeah, so, Johnny,
and our
what do you
season
think
finale.
about it?
And the musical.
Johnny, let's turn things over to you, Johnny. What do you think about that?
He's trying to sink out of sight. Sink out of sight. You're the one we're going to have to throw off the cliff with the gondoliers.
You're the reason we haven't got our sponsorship.
You and all the other Americans from the other two shows, which by the way are on his channel and on Made Gaming's channel. So all the Americans from all those crews, including yourself, you all get thrown over the thing into the what is that stuff that's down there called? Water. And
Yeah, I think we're all in. Hands up,
Okay,
so
good.
if you're in.
and then,
In the water?
no, not in the water. Into the plant. He's in the water.
You guys
We're
are
all
having
in for the
way
sponsor.
too much fun with this.
Yeah, Johnny. Oh yeah, are we playing a game today, Johnny?
I don't, I figured that if we just, this would be the 6 and 20, Boston Tea Party show. We just hang out and, have a
Of course
conversation.
it is.
And you guys would just continue to say Boston Tea Party.
The Boston
Tea Party.
Party!
Hell do you think the significance of 6 and 20 is? It's obviously the Boston Tea Party. How could you not know that by now?
Somebody actually look up the date of the Boston Tea Party. I guarantee you it is definitely not 6 and 20. But anyways, or 620.
That would be like 6 days after my birthday. Not my actual birthday, because I'm not that old.
Okay, December the
December
16th. December 16th, 1773.
1770.
6 and 20, 1773. It's all coming together.
They fit together like me and that guy who played Nightcrawler.
Hey, Johnny.
No,
Who are you?
Sorry,
What are
I'm
we
just I'm,
doing
I'm
here?
still processing the you and Nightcrawler bit, and yeah,
Oh, my.
okay, all right, yeah. All right, I'm gonna just jump into it, guys, because you guys are just ridiculous. Where we left off last week, there was a lot going on, and it seemed like Jinx Godefur stepped up and became incredibly ambitious. So, Joff, I'm gonna let you describe just a little bit of what happened last week. What did Jinx do?
What did Jinx do? Jinx walked into Kellen's, this infamous pub in Shar Hollow, correct?
That is correct.
Which is the hub for Scotland rebellious activity, and the Scotlanders being a subjugated people within the Empire, and Duskbowl being its capital city, and the Scotlanders being kind of put upon and spat upon. And and Jinx Godeffer, this mythical, legendary war veteran, who is actually an incredibly broken alcoholic of a man, who is nothing like the actual hero, has decided to take on the moniker that his people have given him and start citing rebellion and revolution. And he's he's actually trying to start the second war for Scotland independence, commonly known as the Unity War. He wants to start Unity War 2, and that means he's starting to approach and conspire with other Scotland leaders within Duskbowl. And the crew literally just found out that one of those people, whose name has escaped me, Ulf something
Ironborn.
or other.
Or Ironhook.
Ironhook. He's in prison, and we want to break him out, and we actually have the resources to do that. So let's find out how we're going to do that.
And so a lot of that happened over the course of downtime, and you were frantically rolling and conspiring, and all kinds of things were happening. Meanwhile, I believe it was Ari who was discovering that she had a hidden talent for something to do with her hands.
Healing. Healing.
I think it was Sling and
Sky.
And Sky, that was...
I got to have private bathroom time with both of them. I found out many things.
You lucky lady.
Right? I was getting all the action last week, and all the action was healing. Healing.
I would like to note, for the record, that doesn't quite communicate what an incredible healer Ari is. If you had seen how disgusting that bathroom was, you would not believe how amazing her ability to heal is. It's just unbelievable.
It's true.
Excuse me, sir. Are you implying that Scotlanders are piggy? That they are unclean? That they are just a filthy bunch of animals?
Do you know, it's events like this which is why the Boston
Tea Party
ever took place in the first place.
And I would
I
like
just
to
played
know,
sexual healing for about 30 seconds, just so you know.
Sexual healing.
I would like to note for the record that all of the descriptors that you used, they're all yes, except for the middle one.
Which one was that?
Unclean.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they're quite tidy, but you know, a piggy? No, yeah, a couple of them. Sure. Filthy? Yeah. Can we please play this goddamn game?
We are 20
Don't do
minutes
that
in.
while I'm drinking water.
Well, so after, I mean, in Ari discovering her healing, it inspired, or at least it seemed to me, to inspire Sky in a little way to figure out a little bit more about what was going on in the circumstances related to your sister. And you came to the conclusion that you wanted to find a way to get her reconciled. And so there was a bit of play around that, and you discovered that reconciliation for ghosts tends to focus on the circumstances around who they were as a being when they were alive. It's part of their core personality, you know, part of the things that they really enjoyed in life. And you did that a fair bit of time with Hocus, who had his own really interesting set of circumstances. We started last week's episode with him speaking to the voice of the spirit wardens and being offered a choice of which he couldn't complete because of the spirit, the bells ringing at the crematorium. However, it appeared to have some sort of an effect on Hocus. And as we left off, he began to hear the bells again, something that was unsettling at first until it really began to make him feel sick and overwhelmed with just that sense. It was loud. It was like a cacophony, just kind of rattling his entire being. And so we'll open up. I guess you guys were back at Kellen's, correct? When all this was going down, the meetings. It was sort of your base of operations in respect to trying to do the whole, resolving trying to figure out how to resolve the sister situation. Ari and the I'm sorry, what?
Teaching Jinx to attune, starting that process.
Jinx, yes, that actually was another important element that happened last week. So we open up with Hocus experiencing this.
And he's not in good shape.
I can imagine.
Like leaning on any piece of vertical stuff that he can hold on to keep from falling over. And he's got his mask sort of pushed up a little bit halfway on his face because he's convinced he's going to throw up. Which I'm not going to simulate right now with a mouthful of popcorn. It's okay, I'll get it. Don't worry about it. Drink. So, and so he is absolutely shaken to his very, very core, and is just like he's probably in a corner with a hand on both walls, just leaning into the thing and retching and trying desperately not to throw up whatever portion of eel he has recently.
And so after probably a couple of minutes, the sound subsides, and a different sound begins to kind of enter your head, your being, your psyche, and it is the sound of the crows calling that they found the body, that they found the dead. And this, come here. Yeah, this instinctively. This is not something that it's just like that thought appears in your head. It's like you feel instinctually drawn towards the sound, and you realize that it's actually in Char Hollow somewhere.
There's someone is dead nearby. The crows. God, the crows! I have to see where they are. I have to answer. And he starts shambling towards the door.
Excuse me. Where are the rest of you as all of this is beginning to happen? From what I understand, towards the end of the last session, before Hocus was experiencing this, there was the culmination of the meeting that was happening at Kellen's in the private back room that Jinx had arranged for. What about the rest of you? Are you there with him as this is all going down? Are you in a separate? I mean, are you close to Hocus? Just to kind of, I'm just kind of get a gauge of where everybody kind of feels that they would be in this particular circumstance.
I'm guessing we wouldn't be too far apart from each other.
Yeah. Well, so is this happening while Jinx is in the meeting, or is this shortly after?
This is subsequently after. So things have settled down. Life is, as you know, it has changed, especially for Jinx. And then everything that you guys have done is setting this up. So this is kind of like in the calm afterwards.
Assume that Jinx is still in the back room, looking at various, documents, plans, making notes, getting his drink on.
So actually, this is a good time to ask a question about the legend of Jinx Godefur and the actual aspect of him that's real. Mm-hmm. What was your rank in the Unity War? First, when you were serving as a Skovlander, and then when you were pressed into the service of...
He was captain on the Skovland side, and then when he was captured and forced into a contract, he was just a grunt. He was a private. He had no rank. He had no power or authority. He was literally sent to the front lines and forced to kill his brethren. But as a Skovlander, he made it to captain. He wasn't didn't care much for leadership, and he was a bit of a rebel, which is how a lot of the stories that came out about him. It was about him disobeying orders. It was about him running into fights and basically going against the grain.
The hero of Scotland, the man they call Jinx.
And so as we find all of you just kind of in the afterglow of that meeting, Hocus is beginning to stumble out of there. I mean, he may have been having this episode privately, but at some point, one of you notices that he's kind of mumbling and rambling a little bit and starting to head for the door.
Whatever
Whoa,
rambling. Probably really loud because he's trying to scream louder than the bells that he can hear. But
Ghost man?
Whoa, you don't look so good there, Hocus. What's
the
going
hell
on?
is going on?
And just the mist that whenever he's attuned, pours out of the mask is just running through the little troughs. I can't think of the word. The grooves on the front of the mask. It's just streaming down his face, and just as soon as they drip off the mask, they just evaporate and dissipate. And he's just kind of scrambling through, kind of pushing his way through the crowd. Is that the crows are calling? The crows are calling.
So, as a part of this experience for Hocus, something he doesn't notice immediately because the cacophony is so loud and he's got his eyes closed, when he was first beginning to deal with it, as he rights himself as he's trying to leave, it's almost like you were forcibly attuned. So you are seeing in the ghost field right now with utter clarity. It's almost like you're seeing everything that you've seen previously, every experience that you've had, have culminated into this one stark, sharp, beautiful, contrasted, very kaleidoscope color, crazy amount of colors. Just, it's all sharp and intense and in focus. I mean, it's overwhelming as you begin to take it in. And as you hear the noise of the crows calling for their, I don't know if I'd call them masters, but fellows would probably be a good way to describe it. You can see it. You can see the sound as it's calling towards you. And if you're looking at the map and you're looking towards Char Hollow, which is right here, they are calling you towards this bridge right here.
I'm not seeing you ping on the map.
No, never mind. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Yeah, it's Roll20 being super slow. So
Okay. I'd like to attune to try and see if there's anything on him or see whatever.
Sure, absolutely.
Roll it.
Would I be seeing anything?
When was the last time you took lure?
A while ago, but I'm not fully human currently.
You are correct. However, well, so let's talk about that circumstance for just a second. How is Sling aware of it consciously yet?
She is coming to terms with it. She's not. She thinks. Trying to find out how to say it without spoiling anything that might come in the future. She doesn't know that there's something still going on. She thinks that it's over, but she thinks that she's currently dealing with the after effects of what happened to her.
Okay, that's actually that's yes. So you see that there is something altered about Hocus. That his aura, his essence, his spirit energy is shifted a little bit, and it's not in a way that looks red or pink or any of the other crazy colors that represent demon, but there's definitely something off about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the color tone essentially has changed from what you had previously seen while you were possessed as his normal, essentially blue spirit.
Okay.
So it's definitely off. Sky, go ahead and roll it.
All right. Risky control, desperate.
This is a situation where I don't think there's no, I think it's controlled. Because there's not really any danger. You're in a safe space right now. The only real risk comes from what's going on with Hocus, and I think that doesn't necessarily apply to you directly.
Okay. Effect standard.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to attune to him, or are you trying to attune to the environment around you?
Both. I just
Okay.
First to him, and then if I can tell what is affecting him, going out from there.
Okay, so then we'll definitely call it standard.
Okay. 5.
Okay, so at first as you begin to kind of focus in, watching him stumble, you see him, his normal being in the ghost field, in the what that means is, but you see him pulsating, in a different shade, and it's hard for you to focus on because it's like what Sling sees in her affected way. You see something different, but you see it differently, right? You don't see the aura that she sees, that because of the perception that she has is very different. What you see is a pulsating radiance from him that it's like every second or two it flashes out of him, and his normal color, his spirit, is one, but there's it's like the radiance is something else. It's a slightly lighter blue as it pulses out. And faintly, you hear the calling of the crows as well. You don't see it, but you faintly hear it because you're tuning through him, and he's almost serving as a broadcaster, which also means that Ari, every time he says something, every time Hocus says something, you also get a faint feel for you hear it faintly because you've got the ghost voice ability, right? And that it like broadcasts out, and you when you hear him say something, you faintly hear the crows in the background as he says something. It's almost as if with every one of you besides Jinx, who's probably just in no way focused on this at all, you're seeing him serve as a conduit for that noise, that cacophony, that sound, that thing that's drawing him there, right? It's bringing him in.
Something is wrong with Hocus. I don't know what it is. It's
Ghost man.
Hocus?
Still just repeatedly, the crows are calling, the crows, and heading for the door.
I think the crows are calling.
I got that part.
crows call all the time. People die every day. This is different.
At this point, Jinx is obviously hearing all the commotion, and I am coming out and looking at everyone, and Hocus is freaking out. And what's going on?
Sling's going to stand in front of the door.
I don't think
I've learned my lesson to not touch him.
I think if Hocus wants to leave, he's going to leave. Unless.
Would Ghost Voice help him at all at this point? Like to talk to him with Ghost Voice?
Since you have that ability, I think it in my head, it might give you
just already there.
Like it might give you an additional like a sense of resonance when you speak to him. Like he would hear you more strongly, both in and out of the ghost fields. Like, he would hear your normal voice, but he would also hear a resonance of that inside of the ghost field, because he is clearly perceiving sound and, you know, the visual world around him in a very different, significant way. So if you were to call to him using that, absolutely.
Okay. Hocus. Hocus, focus on here. Where are you? Where do you think you are?
So he's probably standing like almost uncomfortably close to Sling, like probably about yay far away. Like he's almost not quite aware of whether she's there or not, but he's so close that it seems like he doesn't know, but like he's just stopping before leaving the door as though there's nothing there. But he's also, it's clear that even through the eyes of the mask, you can see his eyes inside kind of moving around, like he's scanning your face as though trying to figure out, who is this? Is this a person, or is this something intangible that I can walk through? And as the voice comes through, he kind of pivots his head off to one side. Securitat, Shon Maesk.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way.
And he starts to take a step forward, reaching for the doorknob.
Okay. Would
Sling,
anybody
move.
understand what that was? No?
Move.
No?
Let's follow
Okay.
him.
Okay.
If he makes a scene, we have to take him down, but follow him.
I wore the wrong shoes for this.
So
And
do you
she
let him buy
follows
Sling?
after.
I'll move.
Yeah. Okay. So given Sky's roll, it was a success, but there was a consequence. So as Sling steps aside, allowing Hocus to step out, just for a faint second, you notice that there's something slightly off about Sling still.
Hmm.
Nothing to see here.
Everything's fine.
It's just the
See-
Boston Tea Party.
Ooh, look at the time. It's the time for the tea party. Let's be off. Bye.
Okay. So, and I'm assuming everybody's going to follow.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to cut to you. We're going to do like, there would be a montage of you all just kind of following along, you know, Scooby Gang style, behind, you know, your query, who is Hocus, making your way to the bridge as indicated by the ping on the map yet again. That will eventually get to you guys.
There.
And just as you arrive inside of the bridge, the cawing of the crows, they're calling, they're requesting, they're broadcasting out to their fellows stops. And for Hocus, as you get closer and closer, the sound becomes visually more bright as you can see it, and you can see where you're going, and you get there and they stop. And it is there that you notice there are two spirit wardens standing over a dead body on the bridge. They don't appear to be communicating in any way, shape, or form that you can hear, that you can see. But they arrange the body in a very particular way. They pick it up and they carry it along the stairs that are next to the bridge down to the canal. And you look over, and the rest of you arrive as this is all beginning to happen. You all look over the side, and you see that there is a very different type of gondola down there, much wider, much longer, and it is filled with a couple of bodies and 3 or 4 other spirit wardens. As they collect the body, they bring it down, they place it on top of the rest of the bodies in a stacking sort of situation, and then they begin to move in a direction back towards Charter Hall. So heading this direction on the map. And it is at that moment, Hocus, that you feel peace again. Like just an utter relief. The tension, the overwhelming need to be there, upon seeing that, upon witnessing that, it's gone, and it just kind of bleeds off of you, and you just feel relaxed, almost like you want to pass out from exhaustion.
Before I do that, are there still any crows around?
They are pecking at something on the bridge. There's a couple of them, but it's not a dead body. It's just, they're just pecking at something. Maybe it's a breadcrumb or whatever, but they're kind of loitering in the way that, you know, crows will when they're not being disturbed.
Okay. Well, looking at them with what remnants I have remaining of this forced attunement, I'm going to hold out a hand and catch their attention and see if I can get one of them to come to me.
Just when Ari was going to shoo them away.
Well, that's actually probably an appropriate response, because when you see the crows, it means death, right? And it means, it could mean more than just death. It could mean a not supernatural experience, because who knows how long the body has been there, whether the spirit has risen, whether it's attracted other spirits, whether there's a possession going on. So there is any number of reasons to fear seeing the crows. At your clucking, all three of them perk up and look to you. And they don't move flying towards you, but one of them starts to walk towards your general direction, along the essentially the handrail, or the rail, stone rail lip of the bridge, moving towards you very slowly, kind of picking its way and looking down at the surface that it's walking on, pecking at something, perking its head up, but continuing to walk towards you.
Imagine I will probably have somewhere on me like a piece of bread or some piece of snack food that I carry with me all the time. Just hold it up so that it's between my fingers, but the clear intention is come up here and you can have it. You know, kind of.
When it notices that you did that, it stops for a second, kind of looks at you, kind of ducks its head around, kind of taking in the rest. Catches sight of the four of them standing behind you, kind of cocking its head, trying to figure out whether it's safe. And then finally, it hops, flaps its wings a couple of times and glides the last 20 feet to you and lands and starts to pick at the piece in your hand.
Please. Just kind of look at it for a moment and then very softly whisper, Sharon Sakai. And then set it back down on the bridge with the crumb or whatever. And then turn and walk back to everybody else.
Okay. It stays there, kind of pecking at the piece as you were all beginning to leave. But the one last thing that you catch, Hocus, as you walk away, and that sense of calm comes over you completely, is you notice that the other two crows are eyeing you very, very sharply, like they're focused on you. And then we'll cut. And we'll cut to where, guys? Where do you want to do next?
We want to get a train.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Yes.
Train.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly, though? What do you mean by a train?
So
We want to take over or own legally, maybe. I don't know if we could afford that, but we want to own a train that can fit our carriage in it so that we can become the professional and honest delivery company that we have always wanted to be. We no longer want to be criminals. We just want to be, what was it? Ghostly goods.
Okay, so
We're going legitimate.
You're going legitimate. How are you proposing to acquire this train car?
I've got some lads over at the station.
Thought they were in jail.
Give them. Well, one of them is. The other potentially might know that I'm a wanted woman, so that might not work out too well. But hey, I guess we'll find out.
Oh, that reminds me of something.
No.
You could arrest me and get
No, it's all
nothing.
good.
Or you
What?
could let us buy a train and then, you have had successful business discourse. Never mind.
So I know someone or I think it's our crew contact is someone in the Ministry of Preservation. And so reaching out to that contact, I'd like to kind of try to find a train that had recently been decommissioned, or maybe a train that was slated to be decommissioned soon, and have them flub some paperwork so that it gets written off early. One that's still functional but a little bit older, that we can pull off on some side tracks and make our home.
So where making that happen with the Ministry of Preservation probably is a really good way to go about that. The question is, and it's what it sounds like is that what you guys what you wanted to do was have the ability to be able to travel with it around the city, if I remember correctly.
We kind of wanted that, but it's not possible.
It's not possible because there's not rail. There's not. So what's your
our second plan was to have it so we can attach a cart to the front of it, and so we can use it to get from city to city if needed. If we need to leave the city in a hurry, we can go to our train, which we can just escape on, basically.
At some point, we'd also probably want to add like rovers to it so that they can go out to other cities and get supplies for us when we're off, doing other things.
All right, that makes complete sense. How are you going to approach this? Is this going to be a score, or is this going to be, an asset that you're going to acquire? Or basically, you're trying to make this place your HQ at this point. So that almost seems like it's score worthy in a lot of ways.
Well, we do have the upgrade that we just haven't used it yet.
You mean you guys haven't done your upgrades yet?
Well, we have.
We've done it.
We've
mechanically,
got them. Mechanically, we have it.
We added the pips. It's just a matter of narratively we haven't.
Narratively, we
haven't
can't
just
said
say that we have it already.
Sure, and that's what I'm trying to get to is what is the narrative way that we're going to get you guys this really awesome train car that's going to be like almost like a double decker and have like great bunk space and maybe a workshop and all of that neat kind of stuff.
We ask politely and you say yes.
Wait. Can I ask you a question, Louise? Is there love involved?
Yes. Of course there is.
When it comes to Team Phantom, we are all about the love.
His love is in the air. Everywhere you look around.
It's all you need.
No, we can make this a social engagement.
Okay.
I think that's something we could do really quickly and probably have some good success with.
Well, it's had some good success with, get some payoff and all of that other stuff, and probably lead you into whatever your next score is going to be as well.
I have also heard of a great place that we can have it that has lots of social engagements. It's a place called Eden. We could go over there and just have all of our social engagements.
Oh yeah, let's go. I've been meaning to speak to some people that are over there. Like, oh my god,
it serves double duty.
Oh, it'd be perfect.
As you guys you basically are in free play now. As this is all going on, you're going to get contacted from your rooks, both your Skovs. So those aren't your rooks. What did you call those guys? Those are something else, right? You took a different type of cohort there.
They're a gang, I believe.
Yeah. So you have them, and then you have the vice purveyors, who are your rooks. So they report back the results of the speech, and they go into great detail about the fact that during the speech, Raymond Bowerstone was shot, supposedly by a Skullwinder that was being called Wrath. The crowd started chanting Wrath almost immediately. So that to you seems interesting in and of itself. Then, during the chaos right after he got shot, Tabitha Keel made an appearance, trying to take over the speech, and there was a lot of commotion. There was some supernatural occurrences that really couldn't be explained. Something to do with, for some reason, there was no sound for a period of time. Then, throwing off her disguise, OC made an appearance and subsequently defended Raymond Bowerstone. While the Nyx was trying to get him up, essentially, and there was all of this commotion, and ultimately the result was Raymond was able to give a speech. It was a rousing speech. Tabitha Keel was subsequently arrested, although based on what your vice purveyors know, she was immediately seen by a solicitor and was subsequently released into the care of her father, Tobias Keel. And other than that, it was a success for Mr. Bowerstone.
Wait, her father's last name is also Keel?
Why wouldn't it be?
Her husband's name was Keel, wasn't it? Or was that his sister?
What?
Was
her brother Horace?
Her brother
really
Horace Keel.
Got it. Okay, I thought it was.
She's not.
And then
married.
there was Tabitha Keel, who was the sister,
My
and
bad.
then
I totally just kept hearing
yes.
for some reason.
Also,
This got weird.
this is like the grandfather song. And so, also during that circumstance, there was another individual who was a bodyguard for Raymond Bowerstone that was arrested and subsequently released. And by description, Sling would know that as Steam.
And also, Raymond announced that he was partnering with Jinx.
Well, there is that too. There is the fact that he was partnering with Jinx Godefroy, the legendary Skovland soldier, in order to help serve the Skovlander cause and against the hate crimes that have been being committed in against the Skovlanders.
This is all good news.
So, Steam was arrested. Did they think that he was Wrath, or do they know that he was Wrath?
No.
Well, he was arrested and then released. That's what you said, right?
He was arrested and then released. He actually went to jail with Tabitha Keel at the end of it.
But not.
But he was also released.
Not for shooting Bowerstone.
No. Well, he was brought in because he had attacked he was defending Bowerstone, and had attacked Tabitha Keel and her two mercenaries that were standing there with her, essentially, her two bodyguards. And so he was arrested as a part of everything else. Nyx was a part of that pileup as they were kind of pulling it all apart, and Bowerstone basically,
Hold it, that guy saved my life.
Yeah, exactly. And so, on top of all of that information, you are also made aware of a couple other things. The official date of the election for Alderman of Crowsfoot to replace the assassinated previous Alderman is in a couple of weeks. A day or two after that, actually 2 days after that, two events are happening almost simultaneously. The first is the opening of the new lightning tower in Barrowcleft, excuse me, there will be a ceremony of city officials there, and there'll be a lot of pomp and circumstance. And the organizers of Coachella have agreed to have their event that same day as more of a public celebration for everybody else, to celebrate the reopening and the what is being assumed as the bringing the city out of martial law.
Heard of that place? Coachella. I mean, I've heard that it's pretty good.
Really, I've never heard of it before. This really? Is the first. It's first for me.
We're the official sponsors of Coachella.
We are.
That's true.
It is. That's legit. That is the first legit thing we've said today.
That's actually
It's more legit
hilarious.
than the Boston Tea Party.
No, but that's actually
is totally
hilarious.
fake.
We blew up the lightning barrier, and now we're sponsoring the ceremony for its reopening.
We did no such thing. No such thing.
Oh,
I'm
that
sorry, you're
is
right. Plausible.
that is
However,
good news.
if invited to the opening of this tower, I highly recommend we not go in our carriage.
Why would that be a problem there, Hocus?
Well, it wouldn't be really because we have that perk that makes it completely invisible whenever we get it wherever it's
Yeah,
going.
it's a pretty sick perk.
Yeah. But I mean, the last time we were there, you know, well, not we because Hocus wasn't there. Hocus was talking to a spirit warden. But the spark rites are just slobs. You want slobs, Johnny? The Skovs are great. It's the spark rites are just. It's like a college dorm over there with less fantastic sex in the shower. Can we please move on?
Are we having a moment? Are we having a moment?
Hashtag relatable.
I'm still kind of gearing up for this weekend, and I'm trying not to.
I don't think I want to ask what's happening this weekend.
I'll talk about it at the end of the thing.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, the plan.
The plan.
First off, we learned about what happened to the speech. Jinx, what do you have to say about this?
What do you think about this, friend?
Hey, friend.
Hey, bud.
I want to know. The biggest thing I want to know is they've obviously latched onto the name Wrath. They've incriminated Wrath in the shooting, and they've latched onto the name Jinx, and they're leveraging this Scotland mythical, legendary hero. Do they know? Do they know?
So, okay, so let's. This is actually a question that I asked the players, and this is a meta discussion here, real quick. So this will give you an opportunity to kind of rebut what I was told. But no, officially, Jinx is not. They do not know the association between Jinx Godofur and the man that Raymond knew as Grin in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they don't know about Wrath either.
How did they get the name Wrath?
Apparently, I may have said it at some point.
Oh no!
I don't
That is
remember
correct.
it, but apparently.
Oh, Sling.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
no,
hadn't
you mean
said the name
Esther.
Wrath to anyone else.
Esther.
Yeah.
Esther.
It was,
Oh,
Esther. It was
Esther.
Esther.
Oh,
Yes.
Esther.
The conversation probably was, who the fuck punched you? Oh, this bloke called Wrath. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
It's
my
a
brother-
pretty.
Good old my brother Steve weren't too happy about
it's
it.
Good,
And
it's a good name for someone that punched you, though. Wrath.
yeah. So just
Well,
lots
he's
of-
gone.
Yeah, and you know that's what you get for punching kids. So, PSA.
I don't. Again, speaking about meta, does this bring us any heat? Is there a search for this guy Wrath? Or
Who
if they're
punched a
asking
kid?
around.
Well,
It was
so the rumors
punch.
around that are, people are looking for somebody named Roth, absolutely. However, you stopped adopting the moniker of Roth and have kind of owned Jinx at this point. And Roth wasn't somebody who spent a lot of time. I mean, it was Tips was one of the few people that actually publicly saw Roth as.
Oh yeah.
Right, that whole exchange between Ari and Tips, and then there was probably one other situation where Roth was actually known prior to Esther getting kidnapped and subsequently spilling the beans to the Shroud. So
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
no, you're not. Don't you lie,
What?
because you learned all their information too.
That's true. I did name drop every single one.
Great. Thanks.
So you would know that there is a manhunt that's specifically looking for this person, but they don't know that person is a Scotlander.
No. And so, when did Raymond's assassination attempt happen for us? Last night?
Yes, it happened. It happened. So the events of Hocus going after and looking for that bird.
Yeah.
That was around the same time that the event was starting. that all happened, went done. We cut, moved into free play again, and then subsequently it has happened in your past. Maybe it's yesterday, maybe it's a couple days, but the rooks are coming back, and the gang is coming back with updates on that specific.
So the Skovlins are coming back and saying Jinx was name dropped. You were name dropped. And,
right.
Oh boy.
And
you were talked about in the speech.
Quick meta question. Would Sling, recognizing the description of Steam being carried away after this whole thing going on, knowing that she was the one to give the name of Wrath to him, would she be able to put two and two together and think, oh god, it was probably my brother, oh whoops, that did this whole thing? Because she knows clearly that Wrath didn't shoot him because she was with Wrath.
You're wondering if you would jump to the conclusion that Steam was actually the one that perpetrated the assassination?
Not necessarily that he was the one to do it, but that it was all completely set up.
Full intelligence. Oh wait, no.
I'd say so, just because that's the crew. Like, it was Raymond Bowerstone and Nyx,
and she'd know that, knowing Steam, he'd probably want to get revenge on the guy that punched me, and just name dropping him by doing this would be that kind of thing. She might.
She knows because of love.
Because of love for my family and friends.
So Slate's talking in chat, and I have to agree, it is a little bit of a stretch, but given the association that from the information that you were given, that that not only was Raymond there and that Nyx was supporting him, that OC made an appearance at some point and so did Steam.
The whole gang.
There's more than likely something funny about the circumstance. That
the main thing really is that they named that it was Wrath did it, but we know Wrath didn't.
Yeah.
And so
he was with us.
We'd have some sense of that's not right. So
no, and this brings up other issues because Grin has worked for Raymond. So when this comes back to Jinx, he's like, hang on, because Grin's not being name dropped, even though that's how Raymond knows me. It's too many coincidences.
Well, except that and their Rook network last night mentioned that the great Skovland legend Jinx Godeffer has made an appearance, that he has come out of legend to become reality again, and he has started organizing something. Because you can't make moves like you're doing without the underworld knowing in some way, shape, or form that that's going on.
I've painted a giant target on myself by doing this, and I know
absolutely. So I guess going back to Speedy's question about how Jinx would react to that situation,
well, naturally, now that there's someone running for Alderman that is at least, though there are shenanigans, he seems to be the Skovland's choice. If he's the Skovland choice, I want an audience with Raymond, but speaking meta-wise, I'm probably going to write him a letter. I'm probably actually going to write a letter to him from Jinx Godeffer.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I think there's an interesting opportunity here for you to engage. I in the same way that where Sling, got kidnapped and was over there, I think there's an opportunity for you to have a conversation with Slade as Raymond, either here or there. And it really comes down to what seems more impactful. What would Jinx do in this particular case? Because, and don't take this the wrong way, Jinx seems like more of a man of action than a man of words in a lot of ways.
Without the limitations of the game, Jinx would go and see Raymond right now.
That's fine, because Slade just said that Raymond can't read. So.
Yeah.
Jinx would probably walk over there with the crew, with as many members were willing to have his back, and with his Skovland friends. And
I'm actually surprised that you'd be so amicable to the situation, given.
I'm angry. I'm so angry.
Okay, good.
He's at that point of anger.
You're supporting him, and
no, it's and again, he might have done us a favor if he's claiming he represents the Scotland, this underclass, and he's tying them to Jinx Godiffer. Hi, I'm Jinx Godiffer. These are my people. We're going to have a conversation.
And I'm going to run for Alderman.
Oh my gosh!
Please.
This is perfect.
I have been thinking about that.
Yes.
Or
I'll make the pins
To be fair,
now.
I don't think you could be Alderman of Crowsfoot. There aren't that many Skovs in Crowsfoot, really.
Yeah.
I'll be the Alderman.
I'll be the Alderman.
We literally take Raymond and carry him with us, and now he's part of Phantom against his will.
Perfect.
Yes.
We're coming.
I don't know how to handle this that would be appropriate.
How would
You
you,
could
do it
just
that
say
would be
that you're Wrath.
Uh, This is not 6 and 20 After Dark. This is not livejasmine.com/.
It would be funny to be like. It would be funny to be like, hey Raymond, remember me, Grin? I was your bodyguard at those couple functions. Oh, by the way, I'm also Wrath and Jinx.
And also, I'm now Alderman.
And now you are part of Team Phantom. Thank you. And good
now
night.
You are mine. I don't know, guys.
I think that this is a great opportunity for you to look at the situation.
Yep.
And say, legitimately, what would Jinx do in this situation, and then we'll figure out a way to make it happen game wise.
WWJD, what would Jinx do?
What if you wanted to have the situation where you could bring the hashtag squad with you? What if we do the hashtag crossover, but instead of Phantom to Shroud, Shroud to Phantom, and he comes here?
I'd like to see that happen. I'd like, actually, what Jinx would do is write a very angry letter which basically requests an audience with him.
Ari is going to disguise him to have the I want to speak to your manager haircut.
I would invite him to Kellen's. Hey, come down to Kellen's, Raymond. Because he would know full well what Kellen's represents. He would know.
And just, speaking as Bowerstone's PR agent, it was a whole thing. You missed it. It was a one shot. Yeah. Sling is now Bowerstone's PR agent, and if he really wants the Scotland vote, he'd go down and he'd be there with the Scotlands in the streets.
Oh my gosh! We saw him talking to Jinx at Kellen's.
Yeah, and they'd be like,
public
"Wow,
relations?
it's real. He's talking to Jinx at Kellen's. He is one with the Scotland people." So I've got your back, bro, Bowerstone.
From our perspective, doing that would kind of put him on the spot. If this is all nonsense, he's okay. Fine, I'll shake your hand, Raymond. Okay, cool. You're going to help my people. Let's hear how.
If he doesn't, Jinx can just be like, "Well, remember that bloke that was like, yeah, working together? He ain't follow through on his stuff." And all the scholars would be like, "Whoa, don't want to vote for him no more."
And then he's like, "Look, I am so in with the Scotland people. I'm actually marrying this girl named Mercy." And then Jinx
froze.
Louise is frozen, and it's glorious.
Poor girl.
Yes, it is. She's internally screaming.
Forever laughing, just how we want to remember her.
Yes.
So I'm hearing a lot of really interesting ideas. I'm hearing a lot of, desire for Jinx to actually come face to face with Raymond.
So what Jinx is going to do is he's going to draft a letter, and he's literally putting it in the hands of his Scotland crew.
This is only going to end badly.
And I'm going to send that letter to dear Mr. Raymond Bowerstone, and I'm inviting him to join us at Kellen's for a friendly chat.
Are we all going to Kellen's, or is it?
Yes,
that's your base of operations right now.
So you're coming. Would you want to be there?
Let me make something clear. We're not using the room. We're not using that room because all of my all my maps, all my papers, all of the notes that we've been making, guys, are laid out. That room is under lock and key. But we will meet with Raymond in a different, very similar room.
Would you? Well, so would you do that, or would you have him in the front? I mean, in the big common room. Would you not make a spectacle?
No, that's what we do. We would make a spectacle of it. You're right. I want the barman to see. I want the patrons to see. I want a crowd to be coming in through the front door because they don't.
A parade.
Yeah, it would be very public. Needs to be witnesses.
And so let's go to that scene then.
Well, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second.
Hi, Slade.
Let's talk about the setup for this circumstance.
Uh-huh.
What goes into this? Because, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys for just a second, I think this sounds like a social engagement.
What's happening with my camera? What is happening?
Slade, you are the target of a score now.
I'm going to fix this. I'll be back.
Your white balance is way off. So.
Yeah, it's really scary.
It's Halloween.
Chin chin levels.
Welcome to my dust bowl.
Okay, again, we're gonna. I want to hear what the setup is, and then I actually want to ask Slade specifically a couple of questions before, because I want to get an impression about what Raymond would do in this situation. So, what's the setup here, guys? Common room, right?
Common room. Whether Raymond's aware of it or not, I don't know. Ari, Hocus, Sky, I would probably want sitting on the other side of the table with me. Ari and Hocus, possibly somewhere in the front room. I don't know if we want Raymond to have eyes on everyone, basically. I don't know if... Sorry, Slade.
Well, if the room is crowded, if you were inviting him to Kellen's in the common room as a spectacle for everybody to see, I think you're going to have a little bit more control over visibility of the individual room.
There's an opportunity there for him to see the entire crew and all those rumors come together, but he's just going to run back and report on us. So I'm thinking that we should hide several of our members. And I
mean, I can disguise.
That's true. Yeah. And there is almost certainly a room, almost every bar would have one, a room which has a bit of a peephole where somebody can watch what's going on in the main room. And I imagine Hocus would be in there watching, ready to pop out should anything go horribly, horribly awry.
That makes a lot of sense. Sling could probably be in the front because Sling has already met Raymond.
Yes, she'd love to be there. She definitely wants to be in the back with Master. I'm your PR agent. Did I tell you? Did I tell you that happened?
I'll happily be a drink server so I can kind of keep in the area and pop into the conversation now and then while also making the rounds around the room.
And Sky?
I'll sit next to you. I have no qualms about this. I mean, their crew kind of already knows who I am. And I might have a message to pass on to Nyx.
Jinx isn't exactly the most verbose, and it would be handy to have someone there that's a little bit more silver-tongued.
Oh, I don't know if Sling would want to be there.
Then, if Sling wouldn't do that, then Sling can be in the back room with Hocus, keeping an eye on things.
Okay.
Load your guns.
I will.
Should Ari be there instead, then?
I think Ari being out front is useful. I don't know if Raymond would bring his own people with him. I'm pretty sure they would stand out, but who knows? If Raymond's bringing an entourage, then we need to keep an eye on the entourage as well as him.
Because the handy thing that I have is I can tell whenever somebody's lying.
Then we most definitely need you hovering around, catching catching Jinx and Grin and Jinx and Sky's eye, and then little nods and little shakes of the heads. And, you know.
Just really subtle.
Boston tea. Never mind.
The Boston tea.
Okay.
Sorry, Johnny.
No. Perfectly fine. So this is an unconventional score. It's an unconventional setup. They're not going to be the normal set of circumstances for engagement and stuff. So you guys have done you've talked about your setup. Now we're gonna shift over to Slade and talk a little bit about what Raymond would not only think about this particular circumstance, getting the invitation, but subsequently, how would you respond? Who would you take with you? Would you involve Nyx? I mean, would Nyx, or what about Steam, or even OC at this point?
Steam, definitely, because Steam's kind of like the hand that I hold on to. But it depends. It depends on how the letter was written, and specifically who it's from. What is the name given at the end?
Jinx Godifer.
No, yeah, the name on the letter was Grin Godifer.
Grin Godifer.
Grin.
Oh.
What?
Because
Okay.
I think then, Raymond, your mind would be like, hang on, boom.
Okay,
And he's going to
so
find
since
out
it's-
in like a minute anyway, so...
Yeah.
So since it's from Grin, he would have lower expectations of there being a major threat.
Hooray!
Yay!
I'm just playing it as it is in character because I've worked together somewhat in the past, and I don't believe we've had any bad
But-
business dealings.
I didn't sign it Grin. I put the Godifer on the end. That's me telling Bowerstone, you basically, both of these names.
But at the same time, I'm not too sure that I even believe in Jinx Godifer as a person. It's more or less something I pulled out of my ass.
I think it would make you.
So if he did put that, it would definitely be like, okay, let's go see what this is about. But I'm not going to go into it as casual as I usually have been with my political.
Well, so okay, well that's kind of vague, and so I'm gonna restate the question. How would you walk into this situation? Would you walk in prepared as this is a political situation, or is this a personal situation because this is a history that you have with somebody who you worked with before?
It'd be personal. As far as it being a political thing, he sees no reason that it would benefit. So yeah, personal.
All right, excellent. So I've already messaged Greg. Steam would be there with you anyways. You've already said that as well.
Mhm.
What would you do to prepare for this meeting? What would Raymond bring to the table essentially, besides Steam?
Nachos.
Yeah, charm.
As long as they're Irish nachos, I'm okay with that.
What the hell?
Irish.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. He's going to be bringing his armor that Nyx gave him, and also throwing knives stashed in there.
You're going to bring the armor that Nyx gave you, the damaged armor that has the little hole in it with your little. Okay, all right, sure, right, all right, whatever, all right.
Unless he's real precise shot and he gets me straight in that area again.
Okay, fair enough. You should be fine. So, and then anything else? I mean, is there any other way that you were prepared for this? Because
we've also got a rook network, and I'm definitely not going to be going there on my own.
Well, sure.
So the rooks would be disguised as essentially people in the carriage, servants, if you will. But
okay,
there's definitely a presence.
Hold on a second. Which are you're talking about the homeless network, right? Or are you talking about OCs?
Not OCs, the homeless network.
Okay, you're talking about the homeless network. Okay, so they only can operate in an information capacity.
That's shit.
They're not a gang. They're not like the Skovlanders that these guys have in their crew.
Instead of using them for combat, it's more or less using them as a presence.
They are so gross. I mean, really.
Sure. Okay. As a presence, great. But what are you expecting them to be able to do? Because I want to set some clear
nothing.
guidelines around
Absolutely
that.
nothing. If things kick off, I'm expecting them to take off.
Okay. All right. Like I said, this is an unusual engagement, or this is an unusual score. There's no engagement roll. And honestly, I don't want there to be any rolls unless it's absolutely necessary. I would love this to just can be completely social, like completely role play, to the nines.
Other than the finding out the lies part, maybe.
Well, so there will be mechanical aspects as well, right? Like if he lies, you are more than welcome to step in and go, Slade, is Raymond lying to us?
And you have to say it.
He has to
Madam
answer.
Gandalf, I'll be on my best behavior.
That smile right there, that's proof positive right there. He's lying.
Slade, are you lying?
Yes.
You have to tell me.
Already?
All right, guys.
I'm going to tell my brother on you.
Okay, he's right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve, he's lying.
All right. So with all of that in mind, again, stage is set. Raymond, you enter, I'm assuming alone, to Kellen's.
Yeah.
What you find in front of you is a packed house full of mostly Skovlanders. In fact, you're hard pressed to find anybody who is not Skovlander, and if they are probably a guest of somebody in this room. They are not somebody who would frequent this place on their own. It is quite a rousing affair in there because they're getting their drink on. They're having a good time. They're celebrating because there's a change in the air for the Skovlanders. It's clear that something significant is happening. So we're going to cut to Jinx real quick. We're sitting with Sky. And I have a question for Jinx specifically. Are you dressed normally as you would? Is there any special regalia or anything? Is your shirt sleeves rolled up so that the scar is specifically visible? Because I'm wondering how Raymond is going to see Grin, who is actually Jinx now. Would it be? Yeah,
there's no sign of the coat. There's no sign of his, big sword. He's got his collarless shirt on. The sleeves are rolled up. The kukri is the kukri is still in its holster on his back. But he's otherwise, he's relaxed, informal. He has a bottle of Scotland whiskey in front of him and 3 glasses. I imagine Sky's is probably empty.
Is there any specific setup that Sky would have sitting at that table? Would you look differently? But are you representing yourself specifically as Sky? Because they would know to some degree. Shroud would know to some degree, given the experience that with Sling. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like.
All right.
Fine.
So Raymond, you're kind of scanning the room a little bit, looking around. You're not immediately recognized by everybody in the room, although you do catch a couple of eyes looking at you pretty hard. But as you're scanning the room, you see seated in the center Grin, seated at a table with another man that you recognize by description as Sky.
Raymond, it's been too long. Please have a seat.
Well, Grin. Seems you've certainly taken a new position than what you used to be.
Oh, I'm not so sure. I'm still the same man I was.
It's been a wee while. What was the last job you were?
It was that ball. You went to a ball and you wanted someone at your back. That was a good affair.
Yeah.
Had a good spread.
And this, well, seems you are in right company.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by your people.
These aren't my people.
Oh, okay.
And he just takes a seat. So, Sky, right?
Bowerstone, I presume.
That's the one. I must say, Grin, this is... If I knew he was going to be here, things would have been a lot different.
I'm amazed that you didn't know he was going to be here. That's very telling.
Well, to be quite honest, I'm busy, you know.
Of course, I heard just last night you were attacked by a Skovlander.
Could have been, couldn't have been, who knows?
That's awful.
If Ari is there, that is a lie.
Ha! So that's where I just, as I'm serving a drink to someone on the table nearby, I give Grin a look.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day,
did you get a good? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Raymond.
At the end of the day, the speech that was given, it was, I think it got the point across.
No, it sounds like it was a really a killer event. So you're running for office. Congratulations.
Yes, unopposed as of.
Unopposed, yeah. The gig is yours. You're the man of the hour. You're very popular all of a sudden.
There's a lot of good that can be done.
You're hanging with some questionable associates.
The feeling, well, I could say the same for you, my friend.
Well,
back in that day, it was just you and I that used to hang out. Now it seems we are on opposing sides.
I'm surprised you never approached me for a paying gig. You know me, I'm always good for coin and a drink.
Well, times changed from my social affairs.
Absolutely. So, let's talk about Jinx Godifer.
I found your letter, the way you wrote that off, quite amusing.
I thought you'd like that. So, from what I hear, given last night, you've allied yourself with me.
With you? Oh, the Skovlanders. Well, I am trying my best to do right by everyone, and I think what's happening with your people is a damn shame.
You're not
lie.
I'm gonna ask the blunt question, Raymond. What's in it for you? Why are you doing this?
It's strange you want to know so much about me, considering...
I'm just curious. Is it the power? Is it the power? Is it the money? Is it you
so much?
Are you trying to stick it to the Imperials? What's in it for you, Raymond?
At the end of the day, I just want Crowsfoot to be safer.
Okay.
Not a lie. Not a lie.
I reserve my signals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
there's coughing from the back room.
Gunshots and coughing.
Sling's just trying to nudge Hocus. Just let me get the barrel to the people. Just hang on.
just one shot. Just let me get one shot.
No.
Of course,
I'm sorry.
It's not really about what you want, is it now?
I
all
want
know
to be
Nix
Alderman.
is the one pulling the strings.
Pulling the strings makes me sound like a puppet. No, I'd say he's more opening doors.
There was quite literally a knock there.
But I'm interested.
Master only opens doors he wants opened.
I mean, look, clearly you have some issue with Nix, and whatever your feud is with him, I've quite clearly made it known to him that I want it sorted. But I hear now that it is sorted, you have some sort of
I
thing.
have no problem with Nix these days. You see, we have a perfectly legitimate arrangement at this point.
Oh, very
Ari
good.
glares across the room at that point, just...
You
There's
can tell
another
this guy
gunshot
is
in the
lying
back.
when he says he has no problem with Nix.
So Ari kind of winks at Bowers though.
I just think it would be wise of you to know when you're being used.
Yeah, it's quite the group that I'm part of. But I would assume the both of you, knowing what you are, you have quite the group yourself.
Knowing what we are. Sky, what do you make of that?
Couldn't tell you.
No. What are we, Raymond?
Quite honestly, your group's been a bit of a thorn in my side.
Oh. Thorn in your
We
side.
weren't even aware.
At least we weren't a body on your doorstep.
I had nothing to do with that. In fact, that was a little far-fetched even for me.
Ari.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Raymond had no idea that Nix even did that.
Oh,
It's true.
okay.
He had no idea, but is that
He found
far-fetched?
Is it too far-fetched?
Oh,
for
hell
him?
yeah. He's never dropped
Okay.
a body. Yeah.
But
Not
would
yet.
he?
We're getting there.
Okay.
We'll see
You
how
have to you have to remember with Raymond, he's having a fall from grace here in a lot of ways, right? He was doing the whole vigilante thing for a while.
Yeah.
Like there was a legitimate, like, positive thing that he was trying to do, and Nix is responsible for his corruption in a lot of ways.
I'm the good guy.
Killed his
He used to
Alfred.
be.
Anyway,
I assume you wanted me here for some reason, Jinx, other than a good old catch up. Are you wanting
I
a
was-
seat with us? Is
I
that
was I was just curious, perhaps, where our goals align. I'm just trying to get a sense of if this is you and you have a goal, or if this is our man Nix and he has a goal. And I'm just wondering if, maybe we can't scratch each other's back in regards to those, my poor suffering people.
Oh, I agree. And I don't agree with the words that get thrown around about your people.
Good.
I'm not about that.
I
So
trust
when,
you. I believe you. I trust you.
and I'm not going to lie, when Horus started going on about your people,
Mhm.
it was kind of a good thing, because not only was I able to immediately jump on that bandwagon to protect your kind, what I was going to do anyway with all people.
And then conveniently, after you've gained the support of all those who opposed him, well, you're running unopposed now, ain't that right?
For the next 2 weeks, we still have to see what happens in that time. But I have certainly been very busy.
I do have a question, Raymond.
Go ahead.
This person, it's a horrible business attempted assassination. How did your people know that was Roth? Because I can put the feelers out. I'm sure we can find him.
My people.
Yeah, wasn't OC present? Weren't
Yes.
pretty sure OC was witness screaming Roth.
Was she?
Hmm.
You have to forgive me. I was shocked.
Let's assume I'm wrong. You were shot. There were lots of people in the audience screaming Roth's name.
But was it Roth? Who is Roth?
Roth's no one. That's what's interesting.
Then unfortunately you're asking the wrong man the wrong questions.
Hey Raymond, just a yes or no question. Do you know who Roth is?
No.
Just a glance at Ari.
You tell
Got
him
no
the truth,
idea.
Sling.
He's got no idea.
He's got no
That's
idea.
a lie.
Are you
'Cause
sure?
you would know, because Sling would have told you.
No, Sling didn't tell
No, Sling would have said Wrath as.
Okay.
All right, please clarify,
Ari's
because
getting
I remember you.
really
I
confused.
remember
Like,
you.
Was it?
Well, but if this, firstly, I don't remember this ever happening, but if it did happen, it would have been from Sling to Steam in the moment of who did this to you, like, punching you in the face.
Well, then
Raph.
that's
Steam made
still
sure
the
to-
source of the name. The name still made it to Steam. I can't imagine Steam took care of this without sharing it with the rest of the Shroud.
So it would have been Steam that told
Because
Raymond.
Raymond didn't organise the shouting, or he was just giving his speech.
Okay.
Right, but you would know who Roth is.
Okay.
Based on Sling's
The
description.
child puncher.
If Greg, if he told me, Steam rather told me, then okay, and I'd have to play this out a bit differently.
Okay.
That's fine. I want to make sure that that's clarified because
So if he does
Steam was honest in sharing with the rest of the group as far as I remember, and I've got Greg, kind of messaging me privately to let me know what's going on. But
so if he did, he would look back at him. Yeah.
Interesting.
okay, so where does this leave us?
Hanging like a pregnant pause.
Yeah. I mean that's what it looks like.
Speaking of a hanging.
I'm sorry that you may be disappointed, but I thought one person would be better than your group.
That's both of us. That's both of us now that have had knocks on the door and interruptions, Slade.
You just hear from the background, the back room. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Boston Tea.
Boston Tea Party. Boston Tea Party.
Before Slade returns, just to meta this. I don't know how to let Raymond leave. I don't know.
Strike an accord or a plan.
Strike an accord.
Or a deal.
We need to figure out
My concern is the Skovs. My concern is.
Do what we said in the Discord before he comes back and hit.
Oh, very rude. Very rude.
It's not like we didn't know you were wearing your headphones the whole time.
Kill him. I mean, send him flowers.
Well, okay, so I think from a meta discussion, I think there's a perfect opportunity for you to have that discussion and have it not affect the way that Slade's going to play Raymond.
Okay.
And I think actually, given that Slade is here, this is the perfect opportunity to have the meta discussion and include, him as a part of that. Ultimately, you haven't really dropped the name Jinx Godefur in this conversation. You've implied.
It's been heavily implied. Yeah, it's heavily implied. I haven't said, hi, I am Jinx Godefur.
Well, Raymond just called him Jinx a few moments ago.
Sure, but it's still the implication of it, right? He hasn't confirmed it, right? It's not, you're right.
Until he comes in and
trouble.
actually gives a bit of a spectacle about it, he still thinks it's pretty... He knows the guy Grin. The guy that used to security for him. It's going to take a little bit of believing for be like, hey, this guy's actually a bit of a legend.
Yeah, and actually, again, Joff to Slade, I mean, I think that Raymond and Grin got along really well, and that's why Grin worked a couple jobs for Raymond, because Raymond never treated Grin like the hired help. It was a very... Oh, really? You think he did?
No, he would have been fine. He's never been too much of a dick.
Until recently. Until recently, working on his... leveling up his command and bitching at his servants. Then
It was a great day. I had fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, so basically, from what I get from this is, Slade, you're talking about that you are basically thinking that what Grin is doing is assuming the mantle of Paul Bunyan. That he's not actually, Jinx, but that he's kind of taking on the mantle of it and assuming the caricature. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Why did you join the call?
Yeah, just trying to...
trying to figure out who Paul Bunyan is, because they don't have him there in Australia.
Let's phrase the question differently. Phrasing the question differently, Slade. Does Raymond believe Jinx is a real person, or do you think that Grin is pretending to be Jinx?
That could be either or, to be quite honest. It's still at the end of this, it's a legend. And someone that wants to come across and say, I am this.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Well, that's actually not true at all, right? You are Jinx Godifer. You are the man who became the legend, who is now taking on the mantle as a man. But let me add a little bit to that though, so that you can. I mean, this is a rare moment where you can use your environment, the crowd around you. I mean, they could all stand up, and there could be like this sense of adulation, you know, in support of you. Like, you could step up and say, "Who am I?" And we could have them say, "You are, you know, you are Jinx. You are the Godifer. You are whatever makes sense in that respect." Or, you know, we can have them, you know, pledge their loyalty to you in some way or shape or form. You can sell this to Raymond as however you like, but from a metagame perspective, that really is kind of what is the ultimate intent of this.
Jinx is wondering why why he was being framed for murder at the same time as being declared an ally of Raymond Bowerstone.
Ask that question.
Absolutely agree.
Okay, then. Okay, Raymond. You knew me as Grin. That's clearly not my real name. I also have gone by Wrath. I've gone by the person you claim attempted to assassinate you yesterday, and that was not me. Whether that was someone using my name, whether you're even involved in that, Raymond, I could give two figs about. I am Jinx Godifer.
Okay.
I am the man you claim to be allied with, and maybe you can be allied with me if that is something you actually truly want, and we need to talk about that. Because the moment I renounce any alliance with you, it's done. And if you walk out of here, it will not be with my backing. I'd like to back you. I'd like to see you succeed in part of your plan. I'm still concerned what your full plan is, and it's actually not so much a concern about you, it's a concern about your compatriots.
Well, let's be quite honest where I stand.
Please.
I'm the political figure here.
You are.
And my words carry a lot of weight.
They do.
Your people can rally behind you and you can start a war. Or your people can rally behind me and we can have peace.
Oh, now that's interesting.
You can either save your people or they can die fighting and maybe even lose.
That's possible. We could lose. I'll give you that.
I see no peace or guarantee of it from your campaign. And I see no reason why there could not be peace with another person in power.
That's
backing
true.
Of the Skov.
Like who?
Like Jinx Godifer himself.
You want to get a legend. Not even really a noble to run. You have the Skovlanders backing, yes. But I have everyone's.
Oh, you think it will play well when you told the people just last night, Jinx Godifer is at your behind.
And then Jinx Godifer comes out and says, actually, you think that's going to look good, Raymond?
You can play that as you wish. But I have 2 weeks until I am crowned Alderman. And if you wish to cause unrest, then you're going to be starting a war when you could have peace.
All right, let's cut to the chase. What are you offering?
You invited me. As far as I'm concerned, I could leave. And if you want to go against me, the Skovlanders, that is up to you. Or you can work with me.
Oh.
If you want to rally the Skovlanders.
To accomplish what? What do you want me to work with you on? What's the plan, Raymond?
I want votes.
Okay. And
That's
what's
a
it
lot.
worth? What's it worth to me? What's it worth to my people?
Peace.
Peace. We're already downtrodden, spat upon. Peace.
See,
Peace in Crowsfoot? Give me peace in Duskfall. Give
I'm
me
sorry.
Duskfall.
You're asking for way too much. If you want peace in Duskfall, then you're going to war with Duskfall. If you want peace in Crowsfoot and maybe a safe haven, for now, then we start small. And if you wish to build up, you build up. But I am offering a peaceful Crowsfoot. That is what I am aiming for. If you want a war everywhere else, that is up to the Skovlanders and yourself.
see, peace sounds real nice when you say it with your pretty politician words. Thing is, personally, I'll be honest, I'm not a Skov. I see no reason to back you, or to have my friend here back you, just for some politician's silver-tongued promise of peace.
It's up to you. Before me, there's been wars in our streets in Crowsfoot.
Oh, I am all too familiar with that.
Are you saying you've been a part of it? You see, I want it to stop. And I want justice and peace to finally be in Crowsfoot. You can believe me or not believe me all you wish. But let's put it like this. I become Alderman. Would you rather have me at your side? Or would you rather have me as your enemy?
Depends. Is it you at our side or is it Nick's?
You may have a real issue with Nyx.
We do.
But I think you ought to back off a little bit. You've been going at each other a long time now.
Oh, listen, like I said, we have an arrangement right now.
For now. And I also know of your other associates.
Yeah, his arrangement doesn't stop me coming after your boss.
If you come after Nyx, that is up to you. And then you deal with something else. I am offering my political figure here as Raymond Bowerstone. That is all I am offering.
There's no one running against you. There's no alternative. This alliance is single serving.
Having you as an ally as the Alderman of Crowsfoot could be useful, I admit. But I'm gonna need something a little bit more tangible, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Promises of favors don't really mean much in my eyes, or on my wrist, if you will.
I mean no disrespect, Sky. But I'm only interested in allying myself with Grin and the Skovlanders for what they can bring me. As far as what you and your friends can bring, I have half a mind to leave that clear completely. Because I know of the bad blood that is between us. You and I can have a peace. If you wish. If Nyx wishes to do something, though, you know where my loyalties lie with him.
You're not offering us anything, Raymond. There's nothing in this for us. I think we're done.
Do you even have a plan for peace?
Indeed I do.
Care
But that
to
is
share?
not good. That would be telling, Sky. And I know that in this game, information is everything.
Is that a lie? Is that a lie?
That's the truth.
Is it a good plan, though?
It's a... Johnny, you know the plan?
Of course I know the plan.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to happen exactly the way they plan it, but yeah, I know the plan.
Sounds like a shit plan.
Knowing our luck.
Well, Raymond.
Ask you, is all of your group here?
Say again.
Is all of your group here, or is it just
No.
the two of you?
It's just the two of us.
Interesting.
We can make it if we try to.
You see,
Just the two of us.
you see, our group, we tend to stick together close by. We have each other's back.
Oh, safety in numbers?
No, trust in our friends.
Oh, you brought your friends?
Oh, they're close by.
Okay.
If anything were to kick off, I like you, Grin, and I trust you to a certain extent. But seems as now, though, you're more interested in doing something else than a peace.
I'm interested in freedom for my people, and you've nothing to offer. You're using my name, and you're doing it to attract votes, and I'm here to tell you, I will see that not a single Skov votes for you. You have lost the Skov vote. You're offering nothing.
If I've lost the Skov vote, that's one type of people.
Oh, yep. Yep, we're such a small, marginalized people.
I'm just saying, if you want to be the Jinx Godother that I promised in my speech that I was working with, and that I was talks with to have a peace with the Skovlanders, and then he comes out and says that he doesn't support me at all, well, the people aren't going to look too fondly on the Skovlanders.
At that, Hocus, you notice a presence standing behind him.
Oh no.
Him who?
Over his shoulder.
Him who?
Can I just point something out really quickly that just
Raymond.
occurred to me?
Go ahead.
They're talking quite loudly in public, Mr. Raymond, about how little he cares about the Skovland vote.
Yep.
In the biggest Skovland pub surrounded by Skovlanders.
Yep.
That's correct.
It's not shouting it, but yes.
Just wanted to check. That's fine.
Yeah. I needed witnesses.
So I'm going to peer in a little deeper into the field and see if it looks like a familiar shape.
It does.
Do
I
I
believe-
see?
I was just about to say, I do believe your brother is here.
Shoot, and I wouldn't even think to attune.
Nope.
Shoot.
Nor would Speedy. Or sorry,
Nope.
nor would Sky at that point, because you guys are intensely focused on the conversation with Raymond.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that would mean Ari would be too, because she's trying to pick out the lies.
Yeah, you guys, the three of you are really focused on that. Hocus would be the one to pick up on it. It would be something like, kind of like almost itching at his until he focuses in and he sees it. Sling, where are you in the room again? Remind me of that.
I'm with Hocus.
Okay,
Back.
you
In the
would
back.
definitely see
Cool.
what we recognize as Steam, or yeah.
Signal me and I'll signal them.
What's the signal for steam? Oh.
Just making steam sounds.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Grin.
Tran.
Gondor calls for aid.
The beak at the lips.
Raymond, go ahead.
Why don't you give me a specific? What do you want?
Money
said
and
you
lots
wanted-
of it. I want money and lots of it.
You want money now.
Yeah, I want you to buy the votes.
Money's
So
a
I have to
start.
buy your people. I have to buy your people instead of
It's a good start.
well, I mean, I rather people survive, to be quite honest. I rather less lives are lost.
That sounds like a threat, Raymond.
I'm not going to be doing it. I'm sorry. Did you not just see the rally that I came from last night?
No, I missed it. It would have been
Nope.
great to have been there.
People are out for blood. And your people are not too well received.
What do you mean, you people?
That's the third one so far. I've been keeping track.
Whoa.
Wow.
And when he said "you're kind" earlier, I was like,
I think Grin. Jinx is looking at Sky. Jinx is kind of slowly removing himself from the conversation because he's not getting anywhere. So I'm glancing at Sky next to me.
Crow's Foot. We already have some operations there. It's profitable, I suppose. You have the opportunity to come into control of it as Alderman. An alliance with us would mean you allow all of our operations to continue, unhindered in any way. And in fact, you give us control of all trade of vices in the district.
That's a big demand. I mean, let's be honest though, I may be Alderman, but I'm not the only one who has control in Crowsfoot.
True.
I'm
you
not
have
gonna
control over those who have control.
I do, some, but I'm not going to be interfering, as it were. As I said, I'm trying to keep the peace. I don't think it's going to be too peaceful if I start taking sides and start more wars.
Who said anything about starting war?
If you're going to start taking over other people's vice trades, that's on you.
Now you know that a lot of the violence that happens in Crowsfoot, you know, some of that stems from the vices that trade there. If there's only one supplier, there can be no conflict. An easy peace.
We can negotiate it when I become Alderman.
Oh, you won't become Alderman if this doesn't happen first.
Well, that's up to Jinx here. I am promising him the initial peace for his people. Once we get that established, then I can start looking at alternative things to do. Baby steps, Sky. Baby steps. I can't just jump ship to ship now. How do you say to that?
When I speak of a deal with us, I'm speaking of Jink as well.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
That statement is huge. Are you implying that the Scotlanders and Jinx Godofur are working for Sky?
No. I'm
That's
implying
what it
that
sounds like.
That's what I got. That's what I got from.
Then you can take that from that if you want.
What are you implying, though? Like, let's clarify from a meta perspective, because that is a huge. I mean, there are volumes there. That in and of itself could start a fight in the bar that you're in.
Right. I mean that Jinx and I are working together, and that when I am negotiating, I'm not just negotiating for myself. I'm supporting him.
I think I think we can both at this stage we can both talk for each other. That there is an alliance. And I think we've seen that. That's been demonstrated in the conversation where at different times I lead the conversation. It's not a good cop, bad cop thing. It's just been a conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's been, back and forth between me and Sky and with Raymond. It's been a very civil, intense conversation.
You're going some way. Well, how does that sound? You know I'm not Nyx. I'm my own person.
Okay.
As it's the same way that I'm speaking to you, Jinx, and I'm not angry at Sky here. In fact, Sky, I've never even met you before.
Well, it's a
But I
pleasure.
know of the things you have done. But I don't go at you for the things that you have done, because it's been at someone else.
Fair enough.
Yeah, my concerns were mostly about your associations.
My
But
associates are my associates, and we have had many dance battles, have we not? In fact, there are a few of your group I would like to meet before any sort of negotiations were to happen.
well, it's such a large group. Who do you mean?
There's one particular lady. Her name is Ari. I know she's a part of you.
Ari.
Hmm.
Ari? It rings a bell.
I thought we were going to be honest with each other, Jinx. Please. It's just... Now's
Listen,
not the time to withhold.
I realize you may not be able to promise much at this point. So, as a show of good faith, if you can promise me that at some point in the future, that after you're elected, that you will work with us to control the vice trade in Crow's Foot. Not right now, but someday. As a show of good faith now, I would just like one establishment. The Leaky Bucket.
You want an establishment.
Just one. Just one tiny little establishment.
Can I ask a question? What makes you think that Raymond is actually able to deliver that? Given what you know about that establishment and what you know about the owner of that establishment.
Oh, I don't fully expect him to be able to take it. That's fine. But I want him to promise.
I'm sorry, Sky. I can't... That's not even mine to bargain with.
I feel like this guy's getting no power out of this job. Why do you even want this job, Alderman?
You do realize Alderman itself is power. It's a title.
You have no sway. You can't give us trade. You can't give us a tiny little building. What can
It's
you?
not mine.
You're not.
I'm
you're
not a thief. I'm not a thief. If you're wanting a building, if you're wanting funds to go and buy, if you want this specific one, I can't offer that. Just like I don't ask of things that I know I can't get of you.
No, that's true. But the current deal on the table is you get Scotland votes and we get peace.
Do you not
in
want peace?
one district?
I'm sorry, I'm not the king of Duskville, Jinx.
The thing is...
I wish you were.
You seem to be promising a lot of peace, regardless of whether or not we support you.
Yes.
So why should we support you, if there's nothing in it for us?
Good point.
For you, maybe. But what about the commoners? The women, the children, the ones that live day to day in these streets.
I call bullshit.
Not quite.
I call check Discord.
Mm.
You see, there's more to just our kind. I'm sure many people would like to go home at night and not have the threat of being murdered.
I don't know. It is kind of cool.
I am promising you an opportunity. You've caught me on a good day, and you, thank goodness, it's not Nyx running for Alderman.
Ain't it though?
Do you think Nyx would be as polite as I am if he was here?
No.
Do you think he'd be offering the same opportunities?
I don't think you'd be so polite. But that's why you're here. Because he can't be.
It's up to you, Jinx. If you would like to help your people and we get this peace in Crowsfoot, then we can move on from there if things go well. But when you start demanding that you want a lot more, then it is out of my hands.
All right, then let's reset the stakes. I'm not demanding anything, and you don't get the Skov votes.
If that's what you wish.
You're not offering us anything, Raymond.
I'm offering peace. That is it.
Well, I'm telling you, it's not enough. It doesn't balance out. You've got to sweeten. You've got to sweeten the deal.
I can't offer you luxuries. I can't make your people a more privileged kind. That's not how this works. At the moment, your people, they're not exactly well respected. Look at the way they are treated.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And I can't believe you're coming at me about your own kind and not wanting a peace, not wanting to live a normal life.
How would that peace look any different to right now? It's that their rights will not improve. Their state of living won't improve. It's not as if you're going to be kicking out Imperials to make room for Skovs. How does anything change?
All you're saying is you're going to wave a magic wand and say that there's peace? We have no guarantee of that.
There's no guarantee.
Sure, but that's not how deals work.
Then what type of deal are you wanting? You can either go on my word, or unfortunately I will have to leave.
Property, territory, money. Pick one. Give us something. Something.
I will give you money. But...
Okay, now we're talking.
It will go to the Skovlanders.
Okay, yes it will.
See, because now you're wanting...
We're surrounded by them.
Your own. So you're wanting to profit what's not just the Skovlanders. You're wanting to profit your other group. We're not talking about the other groups right now.
No, we're not.
This is the
we are talking about the money going to the people. It will be up to me how that money is distributed to the people, not you, sir.
I'd rather leave it up to a Skovlander vote. I think the Skovlanders have the right to vote on what the money is spent on.
Okay, I agree. I agree to that.
So
they do have the right to vote, right?
Skovlanders?
I say,
yeah,
they're full citizens. Yeah, they're forcibly citizens of the Empire, but they are full citizens.
Yeah.
So I say, I become Alderman, and not 1 week after, we hold a vote on a large lump sum of money on what it should be spent on.
Oh, see, now you're asking for their votes on a promise. I suggest you actually give them the money now, and you'll buy their votes.
That's not how that works.
Oh, it really is.
Really? Because then it's going to look like I'm buying their votes outright.
You are.
We don't want to do it like that.
So you'd rather have their votes on a promise?
I don't think you understand how politics works, my friend.
It's your choice.
Okay.
But what's stopping them from
Let's let them vote.
causing mayhem?
Nothing.
Yes.
You? Him, yes. He is important to me. You, Sky, I'm still not sure about.
You deal with me, Raymond. Raymond, you deal with me, you deal with Sky. It's that simple.
Yes.
We're both sitting here. There's a reason Sky's sitting here with me. I trust Sky implicitly. Please don't badmouth him in front of me. If you want me to leave, then you could badmouth him.
You invited me here.
I did invite you here.
Because
I wanted to
said
talk
your
about...
name. And the fact
Because
that your
you said
name
it.
came up was very, very funny to me. It
Funny
seemed
how?
so coincidental. It was just funny. I
It's a
didn't
small-
know that you were a legend.
It's a small world. And I'm not... Anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. This has been a good conversation, Raymond, but you don't have anything. So let the Scovlanders vote. I'm not going to incite riot.
If you're not going to incite riot, then don't incite riot. And let them pick on their own terms. I'm still holding true, no matter what, that peace will be in Crowsfoot. No matter what has to happen, there will be peace.
And unfortunately, to enforce that peace, you will have to turn the law enforcement against imperial provocateurs. You have to target the people that are coming after mine. How's that going to look, Alderman?
We don't want that, though, do we?
How many people do you plan to kill to get your piece?
None.
Ari?
I'm not planning on killing anyone.
Ari?
I mean, is he lying?
No, he's not. He doesn't want to kill anyone.
He doesn't want to kill anyone, or he's not planning to kill anyone?
Both.
else?
There's
No, I was gonna
nobody
say
who's
both are
planning
true.
to kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I give a reluctant nod of, yeah, just telling the truth.
Alright, listen, there's one easy way for us to ensure that this happens the way that you promise it to happen, alright? And you know what that is.
I assume you're talking about one of those contract things.
How'd you like a tattoo?
I'd rather not.
Then I'd rather not work with you.
What type of tattoo are we talking about?
Can I pick what it looks like?
But we are going to keep the specifics of this very clear.
Fine. So, Skovs will, or Jinx here, will do what he can to ensure that the Skovs vote for you for Alderman.
No, I will not. Raymond wants the Skovs to vote. Let them vote. I will not influence their vote. I would hate to influence their vote.
Fine. Jinx won't tell the truth that you
I
are
won't
lying
meddle.
about having the legendary Jinx Godefur on your side.
Yeah.
Jinx won't reveal your sham.
Yeah.
In exchange, when you become elected Alderman of Crowsfoot, if you become elected Alderman, you will not interfere in any of the business that we engage in, so long as it is not inherently detrimental to you.
Give me 1 week. I need 1 week to think of this.
I
Because
think a
this
week.
is no simple negotiation that we are doing.
I think a week would be good for both sides of this table.
Then shall we say same time next week?
We'll be in touch, Raymond.
Thank you very much, Grin. And you as well, Sky. It is a pleasure to finally put a name to a face.
Pleasure's all mine.
And at that, you'll get up and leave.
Ari's going to accidentally spill a drink on him as he walks out. Oh,
kind of a
sorry,
drink?
sir.
What type?
Red wine.
It's okay.
I'm so
Things happen.
sorry. She starts like patting him down. I'm so sorry, so sorry. And then walks away.
Can I do some sort of investigation if she nicked anything off me, which is stabbing me down?
Did you take anything from him?
No.
Can we do something to see if she's telling the truth?
All right, so that's the scene. Raymond leaves. Ultimately, what did you guys get out of that? Because I mean, that you guys were doing that for almost an hour,
Yeah.
and it sounds like there was a lot of information exchanged on both sides, but there was no agreement. There was no accord of any kind.
I feel like Raymond got more out of the deal than we did.
If only because he got an hour of our time that we could have been
Yeah,
using to
just
do
a
more
little
in that
bit.
show.
Well, no, I actually think that there was a significant amount of value because you learned a fair bit about Raymond as a character, and you know what he's capable of now, right? Or not capable of.
Yeah, and you know, at least Slade, as you were playing Raymond, it came across that Raymond feels like he won't actually have any tangible power in the role. There was nothing that he could deliver. It was really out of his hands.
It was more on the less of, you can put it a little like that, but the things that he can offer at the moment is who he can offer.
Okay.
I mean, other than that, he's just a noble.
Yeah. And you used to be so much fun at the parties.
You didn't get invited.
I didn't know. I was pressed up against the servant's door. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So, is there anything else resulting from that you want to? I mean, is there any other circumstance where Slade's presence here is a part of that?
Really tempted, but no.
Really tempted.
Tempted with what? I'm very curious.
Just something we mentioned in Discord earlier.
Yeah, not possible given the reasons why.
It's something slightly different, but
oh, if there's something new there, I will check real quick.
no,
before...
there's nothing new there.
Okay, excellent.
No.
Okay. All right then, Slade, thank you. That was awesome.
But you get no XP. Bye.
Well, no.
I'm kidding.
We will talk about so this was treated as a social score, right? So there will be some things that come from both sides, and I'll work with Slade and Mike to make sure that gets noted on the Shroud's crew sheet and the XP that he'll get from this particular circumstance. So, but we'll do payoff and stuff specifically for you guys. Now we'll go into downtime for that.
Right.
Thank you, Slade.
Bye, Slade.
Catch you later.
Thank you, Slade.
Love you, Slade.
Bye,
Love you.
Slade.
Okay.
That was awesome.
That was a whole thing.
That was a thing.
Never come back.
That was pretty intense, actually, for you guys. There was a fair amount of like posturing that was going on without a lot of
Fist throwing.
Yeah.
There were points where I was like, "Oh, here it comes."
Well, you know what? For lack of a better analogy or description, it reminded me a lot of like watching Deadwood, where they would complete fights would happen all in verbal arguments, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so Al Swearingen is my favorite character from that show. I mean, but the whole exchange and the posturing and the positioning, right? There were times that it started with Jinx having the upper hand, and then it switched to Raymond, and then Jinx handed off to Skye, and then Skye really had, on top of what Jinx was setting up, Skye had him on the ropes, but Raymond didn't give in. So it was well played on both sides. It was very well done, guys. Congratulations. That was very cool. Okay, so let's talk about payoff.
I almost wish, now thinking about it, that I hadn't let him leave. Because he said that it's not Nyx who's running for Alderman. If it's not Nyx, then we shouldn't have let him go. He's making.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, he's making a deal with us, so he shouldn't need a week to consult with Nyx.
Well,
but
yeah, it will be interesting to see how his terms change when he comes back. His terms, I don't know.
Also, I wasn't done giving terms, honestly.
Put it all down like a letter and just send it off and be like, these are the terms and conditions of the agreement.
We could. I mean, we could actually pen our thoughts and send it to the Alderman-elect.
I say we do that off screen.
How great would it be? Like, I know it might not happen, but how great would it be after all of this, all of the singing of why can't we be friends, if we actually end up as friends at the end? How great would that be?
Oh, absolutely impossible.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
What, Johnny?
I said it would be completely disturbing.
Yes, probably.
With the pot shots and everything else that you guys are taking at each other, it would be completely disturbing to me. But, all right. So let's talk about, I
said, let's get back into it.
So let's talk about payoff. So from a rep perspective, default starts with 2. Shroud technically is tier 3, so they are a tier higher than you.
No, we reviewed. We are actually tier 3.
We're tier 3.
You are tier 3 now. Okay, so there's no shifting of balance there. That's going to be just a matter of 2 rep.
Okay,
for you guys. From a coin perspective, what do you guys think? I mean, this was a pretty significant affair, along the lines of the team up that Sling had with them.
Well, how much did Raymond buy? How many drinks did he buy?
I don't think he bought any, and he was there for quite a long time. The discussion went back and forth. And in fact, given the circumstance of the invitation, probably etiquette, even regardless of culture, the etiquette probably would have been Jinx would have been buying the drinks.
And I would have been pouring them.
Right. So, I don't know. This seems pretty minor in some respects and pretty major in other respects. Nothing was gained from it necessarily, other than bolstering your reputation and your seat as not only with the Skovlanders but also as a crew in and of itself. So, I'm thinking this is a small job, and that means 4 coin for you guys. Heat's where this is going to get interesting, and it's going to get interesting for both sides. So this was not a low or contained exposure. He walked in of his own accord into a Skovlander bar, had what appears to be an hour-long conversation, mostly among Skovlanders, but there were others in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond specifically said prior to entering that he would have asked the rooks to try to insert themselves into the crowd. So this is going to get out. This is going to get pretty far out there for both groups.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds to me like a high exposure situation. Loud and chaotic, basically. So 4 heat to start off with. Does anybody have any reason why it should be lower?
I think chaotic is where I would find a problem with that. Because while it may have been in a loud setting, I don't think it was particularly wild exposure in that regard.
He walked into Kellen's, a known Skovlander situation, like a known Skovlander bar. It's a location that specifically is frequented by expats and the refugees, right? The night before, he found himself giving a speech that included not only the Skovlanders, but also Jinx Godefur. He mentioned him specifically by name.
Yeah.
Separately, Jinx Godefur has recently made an appearance, become an actual person and not the legend that he was previously, specifically at Kellen's. So there are a number of ways that this just opens you guys up to exposure. If for no other reason than it's Raymond Bowerstone, future alderman of Crowsfoot, and the legendary Skovland soldier Jinx Godeffer.
Okay, I'll grant you all of that. I think what Sky may be talking about, which I agree with, is the terming of chaotic. And this has all been, in its way, extremely coordinated. That, I mean, because Raymond would not have shown up here without that letter from Jinx saying, "Meet me at Kelling's."
Sure. So when I use the term chaotic, I'm using it based on what they describe as, what 4 heat represents. There are 2 ways to describe it: loud and chaotic, or high exposure. I honestly believe that given the circumstance, this is a high exposure regardless. This isn't something where it's not like he's just some guy walking off the street and having a negotiation with some skullender, right? He is Raymond Bowerstone, the only candidate left, future alderman of Crowsfoot.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I'm not sure I would count it as heat so much as rep.
Right. It's not. It's exposure, but it's not a dangerous kind of exposure.
There was nothing illegal going on.
Jinx Godeffer. So right. Yes, there wasn't anything illegal going on.
However, Jinx Godeffer is an outlaw.
Yeah.
Suppose.
Future alderman of Crowsfoot, a significant political figure on the scene, having a meeting with a known criminal that he talked about previously.
Okay, so Jinx, so the future alderman of Crowsfoot has announced to the public that he is partnering with a known outlaw.
I didn't say that it wouldn't have an impact on them too.
I know.
It's going to. I'm just letting you know that they're going to deal with the effects too in this particular case. So, I mean, there might be slight variances in the heat, but the level of exposure is going to affect both crews.
Okay.
Whether that was Slade's intention, I'm sure that Mike is going to have a little bit of a frustration with that as well. But it really comes down to, in this circumstance, it is a pretty high-profile meeting.
Okay.
So if you honestly think that it's more of a contained exposure, all right, we'll start with 2. There's some other factors that play into this, but starting off, it seems like a pretty high exposure. Now, because of that, because it's 4, the situation was on neutral ground for both. Kellens may be Skovland, but it's not hostile territory for either team right now, right? It's not, so that's not going to apply. You guys aren't at war. Nobody was killed. So all those factors don't apply. Here's what could potentially apply and add maybe 1 or 2. There were 2 high-profile, well-connected targets involved. Future alderman of Crowsfoot, Jinx Godeffer. Now, I've already argued that high exposure played into that. So we could say that we could hand wave and say it's just the 4 for high exposure. Does that come into play at all? The fact that does it separately come into play that they were hard targets?
I would say no. Honestly, I think that from how you were describing it before, the reasons why you considered it to be the high exposure, I think that has a lot more to do with the high profile of the people involved than.
Well, it's not just the fact that they're high profile targets, right? They're not. It's the fact of how the situation was executed. I'm in agreement with you that I think because we've already talked about them as being 2 well-known figures in their separate communities, that makes sense. Like that they shouldn't be included. But it was also about the circumstance with which they did it. You guys did it in a very public way. You made no bones about having him come to a very public place where it could be observed. You made it very clear that you were inviting the person who was speaking about the Skovlanders into essentially a hotbed for Skovlander activity. So I don't think that the 2 high-profile targets. I don't think you do get an additional 2, but I bring it up just to see if there was another reason for it.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it sounds like it's 4 heat for exposure.
Sounds good.
Sweet. What does that put you guys at in respect to your wanted level in heat?
1 wanted level, 6 heat.
Okay. Real quick roll of the dice privately for finding out your entanglements, and let's go directly into downtime. Who wants to go first?
I think mine will be pretty fast.
Okay.
So, yeah, pretty much nothing. No, I'm kidding. Knowledge, arcane power, 1, just the dealing with the crows thing. And belief, stripes, heritage, background. Kind of
hold on. Are we doing XP right now?
Oh, you said downtime. Sorry.
That's okay.
Never mind. Never mind. I was getting a little ahead of myself. I've been cooped up in this wall with this girl with a gun for like, an hour and a half. I'm kind of eager to get out.
That's
Fair
me.
Yeah, I know.
Fair enough.
I have a gun.
It just smells like gunpowder in here. I want out of this room.
Can we see our long-term clocks again, by the way?
Yeah, let me bring them over to you.
Oh, yes.
There you guys go.
Oh, look at all these things that we said we'd do.
Okay, so who would like to go first with downtime? Hocus, would you like to take a moment, or do you want to do you want to do your XP right now?
I can't remember. Well, I could do my
The
XP,
opposite way
but I
round.
think I will apply my XP towards finishing the Valen inquest.
If
That's mine.
The Valen Inquirer, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you were trying to locate Valen, is that correct? So finishing it, absolutely. Said and done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what was last said about that?
No.
Of course. Wait a minute, is this the one that's
It's
singing
like
about
March was like the last time we worked on that.
Okay. I'm not sure how to apply that then, because it was an inquiry that was going directly back and forth between you and Chimes. So
Vicky Vale.
You receive one final letter from Chimes indicating that the Shroud basically has her, or has Valen.
Where?
It's a long letter that gets back to you from. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. That doesn't make any sense, actually. Taking a step back, because she was contacting you about the inquiry for Valen.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know how to legitimately finish this clock.
All right, let's take that off. And,
Okay.
We'll undo the progress and we'll move on to something else until we can figure it out.
Okay. All right. So what do you want to do with another on-time action? We'll start with.
Are any of the rest of those mine? I don't think they are. I mean, reconciliation is Sky's, but I think I was sort of helping with that.
You were.
So, I will train in the thing.
The thing with the stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
So this one doesn't make any sense anymore either, does it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing with the stuff.
Okay, now it makes sense. All right, so I'm going to do train in insight as part of further looking into the Valen thing. So I will do that for one action, and for the other action, I will continue to assist Sky with his reconciliation.
Okay, so how do you want to continue with that reconciliation? Because last we left off, Sky had been observing Tittle and Jot as they were doing their thing, as they were, and he realized that it was something about their behavior and about their childlike nature and when he shared this information, it was their childlike nature that kept them sane, that kept them, not that allowed them to persist and to exist without the hunger for life, the hunger for essence. So with that, armed with that information, what would you do next?
I think Hocus would try to help clarify that a little bit. That in many cases, with that moment of death, is what a lot of spirits tend to grasp onto, the loss of life rather than the life that they had. And so with Clav and with Esther, our perception was that, you killed me. It's about that moment of death. And Clav realizing, oh shit, I'm dead, and freaking out about it. It is that moment that becomes the defining principle of, wait, I want that back. And once they realize, wait a minute, I can keep doing everything I was doing before, I just have to do it differently now. So they continue living the new version of their life rather than focusing upon the aspect of their death. And so I think Hocus would try to figure out a way to further clarify and explain that, so it makes it easier not only for Sky to figure it out, but he would also be attuning a bit to sort of, but to find upon on it, whisper to Lyra and try to explain to her that this is what we're trying to do, to try to calm her and get her prepped for what the plan is.
Okay, I think that's excellent. I have one question for Sky, and that's, is that the way that you would want to handle it? Because, we talked about this last game. Sky is now gung-ho to resolve this situation, to find peace for her in some way, shape, or form. This is almost like a slowing down of that process a little bit, consoling her, giving her. It's going to have some positive effect, right? You trust Hocus as a whisper in doing this, but it's almost counter to your desperation in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think Sky would immediately be receptive to the idea. I think that he would certainly try. It's only a matter of, if he didn't see progress very soon, he would probably get frustrated.
Okay.
Can I put one more thing in here?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That Hocus would say, you are the only other person who knows what her childhood was like. Relive those moments with her and make her embrace them, or help her to embrace them. That would help you both.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and set up an attune roll for this?
I think that's, or is this me or Hocus at this point?
This is Hocus.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, this is your second downtime action. You're doing this. You're doing this thing, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Sure. Okay.
Well, unless you want to do something else. That was my assumption based on the conversation.
I was saying that I was going to be assisting him, so I thought it just might add one die to whatever he was doing, or something.
No, this is all about you. Absolutely.
Okay, fine. So, do we have any input values for any of this stuff?
No.
Roll it as it is.
Just roll it as is.
5.
All right. So that progresses the clock. Where is it? 2 more times. Okay. So as you're whispering this, as you're giving guidance and you're giving solace, it's almost like the first time that Sky's sister realizes that there's more than just Sky. And that's not necessarily something that's a negative in the relationship that Sky and his sister have had. It's a positive because it shifts her perspective on what's going on. Almost makes her realize that there's something going on, that is more than just the existence that she's known, the terror and the horror and the isolation and the loneliness. And again, this isn't anything that Sky couldn't have, did intentionally that was negative. It was just more an effect of their relationship. And so it is for the first time that after you do this, that Sky, you hear her whisper somebody's name that she's never met in life. And she talks about Hocus to you the next time that you commune with her. And it's not like a shocking, overwhelming sort of, oh my God, there's a problem here. It gives you a sense of peace that she is finding some small measure of peace. All right. So that was your second downtime action. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Do you want to spend a rep or coin and do another one?
No, I'm pretty much good. Though I still have the level 1 harm and my healing clock. And what do we do with those?
So you should be able to be healed if you visit a physiker.
Or Ari.
Or Ari.
That's a bigger risk.
What are you trying to say?
With a lot more reward. Can't hear you, madam.
I said, I'm very good. I've healed 2 of them.
It's true.
She's had no complaints so far.
It's true.
Yeah, well, I'm sure both of those people don't have a problem being touched, so I'm sure it's fine. So
that is also true.
That is also true.
Okay, never mind. Go on.
Mark. Who's next?
I'll kind of piggyback off of that and say that I want to also continue with the reconciliation. And so with what Hocus has told me, I'll take some time to try to attune to her. And now that she's kind of recognized Hocus, I just want to try to talk to her a little bit about him, and kind of relate it back to some parts of our childhood. Going back to when we were really young, and we were on the streets. We stole to survive for a really long time, and there was one time in particular that Sky tried to steal from a Whisper, and Lyra was kind of watching. Lyra was always a little bit more responsible than Sky was. I'm gonna turn this into Sky talking to her. Yeah, that's Hocus. He's a Whisper. One of those fellas that can talk to spirits. We tussled with one of those back in the day. Real fancy looking fella, had the mask and everything, walking down the street like it was nothing. Coin purse jingling. It's hard to resist. Of course, it was a little more than we bargained for when tried sneaking up on him, and he pulled out that hook. Scared me within an inch of my life, that's for sure. Yeah. Remember you saying you could have sworn I was glowing blue for the next 3 days. Hell of a time. I'm lucky I had you there with me.
Roll it.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. I wanted that to mean more. I'm going to use a little bit of GM discretion here. And
you've got a bonus dice for that really emotional moment.
Yeah, roll one
again.
more. Roll one more.
This will be the result of my assist.
Make it count. Make it count.
Do it. Do it. Yes.
Hey.
Okay. So. All right. So here we are with one segment left. When that segment comes up, when the next time that you execute this, and it could be your second downtime action if you want to do that, this progress will complete. That will move this into a different phase, right? So you have identified almost every aspect of what that actually means to Reconciler. Then there's going to be the act of actually doing it. And that may be a score, that may be just something that happens in free play that we role play a little bit. I will present that to you guys at the time. But the next time you engage this, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, is that it's going to be the moment when you decide how she is going to be reconciled and what ultimately happens with her and your vice. Mm-hmm. You may want to hold off because you might want to think about how that's going to change for the Sky as a character. So I'm just going to make that recommendation. But otherwise, that was really awesome. Between the both of you, that was really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So what do you want to do with your second downtime action?
Man, that one's harder to think of. Oh, you know what? I'll reduce heat.
Okay.
Actually, could I say I'm indulging my vice by doing this, having this interaction with Lyra 2, and just roll a separate thing for it, or?
No, because that kind of wasn't your intent. I mean, if you want to,
she's not feeding off of me either.
So. No, she's not. So, if you want to indulge your vice as a second downtime action, sure.
Well, that's what I meant, is second.
Okay. Well, then go ahead and roll it then.
Okay.
Okay.
3. Cool.
So in a very different kind of a way than you've previously, what is the sensation of her feeding off you in this particular case? Because it's not the normal bonding moment. This is something else. What is that like? And I imagine that it's almost a little, it's a completely different experience for both of you.
Yes. It's catharsis. It's something very different from what he has experienced before. Because before it was a kind of one-sided thing where she was calling out for help and he was just letting her feed on him, and it was painful, and it hurt him emotionally to do so. Now it's less of an emotional pain. It doesn't feel like it's draining him so much as it's expressing itself.
It's more of a giving than a taking.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when she takes it in, what's different for her? Because it's not hunger, right? It's not the drive to feed in even an emotional capacity in the way that the interaction, right? When she's responding to this, how does she receive it that's different?
It's no longer just a transference of life essence. What it is a transference of memory. It's like nostalgia. It's like going back and thinking of, an old fond memory that you had forgotten about, and something that can bring you some small amount of happiness, of just this kind of wistful pleasantness. I wouldn't call it joy. I wouldn't call it pleasure, and I wouldn't call it feeding. It's something different. It's nostalgia. And that kind of feeling is kind of how I imagine Sky's attuning to the ghost field kind of is not just, even though it is in many ways similar to like how Hocus does it, but because he sort of has this emotional connection to it, for him, it's when he attunes, it's much more of a feeling. He's, for the longest time, tried to feel, to try and regain some of that feeling from Lyra, but hasn't really thought to do it in this way. It's more of just been letting her express what she had already been feeling and feeling guilty for it. So this is a little bit like coping, sort of.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a real change in the relationship. I'm very curious to see where that leaves Sky at the end of this and what happens to her. Okay, so that with your second downtime action. Do you want to take another one for rep or coin?
I still have the ability that lets us do one more.
Do you want to hold on to that right now and
I'll hold
potentially
off
use
see
it?
if anyone else wants to use it.
Okay, you also have the cohort downtime action as well. Do you want to use that now or do you want to wait?
We can say cohort to reduce heat, probably.
Okay, how do you want to reduce heat?
Same way as usual. Vice Network spreads rumors. Or, yeah, Vice Network. I would say the Skovs, but that's not the kind of cohort they are.
Okay, so go ahead and roll their tier then, I guess. So it's basically a tier roll for the cohorts.
Crit.
Damn, son.
Wow.
Does that mean we have no heat at all? We win?
It means that the reduction of heat is 5. So I think you had 6, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so you're down to 1.
Take it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay. So with that, congratulations. That's a pretty freaking awesome roll to get a crit on. And we're going to hold off on your third downtime action until we see what everybody else does. In this particular case, I would typically throw it to the table who's next, but I'm actually going to throw it towards Jinx and let him take the one final downtime action.
Okay.
All right, Jinx, what do you want to do?
I actually want to work on the Who Wants Sling clock.
Excellent. Are you okay with this, Sling?
Yes.
That is the least confident yes I've ever heard.
I feel like there's been conversations I haven't been part of.
Of course there. No.
That would never happen.
Not in this
Please.
game.
I promise that just never happens.
Mike, hi. Can I join Frowd again? Sorry. Yeah, I'll be there next week. Okay, thank you.
So,
yeah, no, I'm quitting Phantom right. Sorry, I'm yeah. Okay,
That's okay,
we're
go
good.
ahead,
They
yeah.
understand. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
So-
cool. Right, I'll see you then.
Jinx completes that progress clock, and this is what happens.
Can I be there?
So, Sling, in your time, looking around in this investigation, you have been trying to figure out who is actually coming after you and how they're going about. And what happened last time is we found out there was a wanted poster.
Yes. Oh, I can link it in the chat. 'Cause it's...
Yes, you can absolutely link it in the chat. There was a bunch of things that were going on in relation to that, right? There was a particular coin value was calling you by your real name that you were known in Tycheros. So it is often that you are finding yourself on the streets alone, running about your various bits and doing errands and accomplishing tasks. And occasionally you are being tracked down by a bounty hunter. And they are trailing you and they're coming up, and kind of keeping an eye, and they figured it out. And the thing that they figured out is based on the rifle that you carry, which is...
Also, I feel like the veins are kind of a giveaway.
Well, yeah, there's that too, but there's the hair difference, the clothing difference, it definitely throws them off. But the combination of the two really kind of attract them. It's usually the weapon that they see first, because when they're tracking you from, essentially a vantage point. That's what they see first. That's the most obvious thing is the rifle, right? And so as they're beginning to move in on you, typically what happens is they make a move, and then I believe Jinx is there to respond. And how does Jinx respond to bounty hunters?
I dispatch them. I make them go away, Sling.
Okay.
No more bounty hunters.
But okay.
Anytime that I realize that yet another one has shown up, anytime there's a tip-off, anytime that I'm actually able to intercede, I do, and I dispatch them.
How long has this been going on?
Ooh,
for as long as the bounty hunters have been coming after you.
How long have they been coming after me?
35
For as long as
years.
For as long as you've known the man known as Jinx Godefroy.
Oh my god. Oh god. Okay. Okay.
Now,
okay.
as a part of this, Jinx hasn't told you, but the completion of this clock is you're going to witness him actually doing this.
Oh!
And the ultimate result of that is you're going to get some more information about the people who are coming after you. You know that Loman is sending people after you. You know that they're sending bounty hunters.
I know that his vice dude was the one that put out the posters. I know that.
Yes. And the information that you get is that particular person is coming to Duskfall because you have been cited so much and the information has gotten back to Loman.
Wait, so Loman's coming?
No, the person that is his lieutenant, his vice person, his second in command.
That's slightly less terrifying. That's fine.
You never want to see your ex.
Because this last person, as Jinx takes this person and brings them down, and you hear a scuffle, and you notice what's going on, as you come to find out and support Jinx and whatever he's doing, he explains this situation to you, and there is a notice, there is a letter in this bounty hunter's possession that he was supposed to capture you, not kill you, but capture you as this person is coming for you.
Okay. Does it have a name, or does it just say, "Hey, capture that girl"?
It does not say anything but your real name.
And
Capture the veiny one.
Capture the one
Yeah,
with the
it doesn't in no way know that your identity is actually Sling at this point.
Okay.
hey, Johnny, have I collected several of the very similar letters from previous?
You've collected
hunters?
various correspondences and other little things to pull out of that.
Yeah.
So what other information that you have is that they're incredibly frustrated with the progress, and that's why this guy is coming.
Oh, God,
And if
no doubt the bounty hunters have been dying. I didn't even know.
Sorry.
he is to bring you back. He is to bring you back to Tycheros to Loman personally.
Oh, well, Loman could come and get me himself, but that's fine.
Yeah, he's busy fighting a war right now.
Yeah, so are we.
And Jinx will hand over the rest of the letters. Jinx will make sure that Sling has all of them. And looking at Sling will say, "They're not taking you. It's not happening."
Sling will look down at the letters. I'm assuming the bodyguard guy.
Yeah.
He's just on the ground.
I'll get rid of him in a
Bounty hunter's
second.
dead on the ground. Yes.
Just dead on the ground. She's gonna look
Yeah.
from him to the letters to her friend, and she's gonna hug Grin.
Aww.
Why can't we?
Why can't we?
So, as you finish this hug, you both begin to walk back. You dispose of the body in the canal.
Yeah, body. Yeah.
You move off to head back towards Kellen's, and you're kind of flipping through, and you get back to that same letter that announces that the lieutenant is coming to Duskfall. He's expected to arrive in 2 weeks.
Oh,
That's nice.
Everything is going on in 2 weeks.
That's
2 weeks.
very soon.
And that's where we're going to end it.
I can take him to Goatchella. He can be my +1.
Does Ari not get to do any downtime?
Yeah, Ari's got her downtime.
Well, we're going to start with downtime next week.
Okay.
Because it was just okay. Look, so it was just Jinx's first downtime action. He's got one more downtime action. We've got Sling's downtime action, and we've got Ari's downtime actions for next week.
Plus, this gives me time to plan things.
Especially because I think that there's going to be some movement around Coachella.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. What is it?
I don't know. You guys will have to tell me.
It's only the best indie music and arts festival in all of Duskville that takes place on the Silk Shore, you know? So we've got some best highlight bands in there.
You should
And
have that in
sponsored by
on-card
what we call Ghostly Goods. We're sponsoring
Sponsored by
the
Goats.
whole
Ghostly
event.
Goods.
So
Exactly.
be there or be square.
And what kind of acts will be performing at Coachella?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I don't remember.
The Alan Parsons Project is going to be there.
I believe Goats and Hose were supposed to be there.
Goats and Hose, Goaterhead.
Steam Rises, I
Bread.
think, were coming for a special one-off.
Love and the Death Seeker Goats.
Yes, they were there. They were there.
All right, guys.
We're all performing. Why can't we be friends?
Well, Tom Petty actually would be there, sir, because
I know,
spirits don't
that's-
pass on, right? So he's just gonna he won't back down on that one.
Clav's gonna be there.
Poor Clav. Okay,
And
guys.
every Aldo. We have the Aldo choir.
Oh,
Choir.
not the alto choir.
the
And
Aldo
we've
Guard.
also got, Goat J. Goat J will definitely be there.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my god.
Goatsy? Is Goatsy going to be there
Yep,
too?
yeah,
Oh,
he's
no.
there. He's
No,
there.
no.
There it is.
No.
Coachella.
No.
There's
I can't.
Coachella.
I personally cannot wait.
All right, guys. Let's do XP. Who wants to go first?
I got nothing.
I'll go quick. I'm a very quick one today.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
I'm a
Madame.
quickie this week.
You're a quick
Um,
beer, yeah.
I guess in a way you could say I addressed a challenge with deception or influence-ish. Mostly
I'd say so.
I was sticking around and doing the whole no, he's lying. No, he's lying.
He's
Stuff like
lying.
that.
Well, you were making sure to insert yourself in there very specifically when that was coming up. So actually, I believe you deserve at least 2 for that.
Just, okay,
Probably 5, just for that.
Just for that.
just 5. Just or for each instance that I found out he was lying, just 1 more, Beliefs, drives, or heritage. I kind of expressed a bit of my drives by angrily glaring every time Nyx was mentioned.
I agree with that.
Cool. Other than that, I think that was probably about it for me this week.
Okay. Cool. Then that's 3.
I can go next.
No.
Okay. Mike, can I come back to the show, please?
Please continue.
I'm not respected here. I actually didn't do, apart from the very end, didn't do much XP wise today. No desperate actions. I didn't track or I wasn't violent to anyone. I've had a very calm day. I stayed in the back room and talked about shootings. I talked about shooting somebody, but then I didn't because I'm a nice person and I'm turning over a new leaf. Other than that, I did Beliefs, Drives, Heritage of Background at the end with the hug and with not wanting to see Raymond because that's my bro's crew and we had it was a whole thing. And Vice and Trauma, no. So maybe 2? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely 2.
Sick.
Maybe more.
Ooh, I'll take that. I'll take 3. Why not?
Okay.
I level up. Yay.
Okay. So who's next?
Me.
All right.
No desperate actions. Challenge arcane power. Yeah, that first part thing there is probably 1 for that. And Beliefs, Drives, Heritage, background, assisting Sky with his thing. So 2.
Okay. And nothing else?
Don't think so.
Okay. I'm just clarifying.
Mhm.
All right. Sky, Jinx.
I'll go.
Okay.
Have a look. No desperate rolls. Address a challenge with violence or coercion. I attempted to address a challenge with coercion.
That applies.
You were violent towards the bounty hunter.
You were violent
Many
towards the
bounty hunters, in fact.
So that's 7 XP. No, okay, that's 2. Express beliefs, drives, heritage. There was a whole lot of that in the conversation with Power Stone. That's 3.
Definitely.
Issues from vice or trauma? No, not at all. 3.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Calculation or conspiracy? I think the conversation with Bowerstone probably counts for 1 for that.
I'd say at least 2. Because you were calculating the conversation and you were trying to conspire to get things going. So I'd say at least 2. I mean, 2 is the maximum, so I'd say 2.
John, are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I think in the conversation with Bowerstone, I expressed probably some of my beliefs. Number 1, Jinx and I were working together. And number 2, that the drive to, I guess it might be more of a crew thing, but to get access to the vice dens in Crowsfoot.
That seems to be more of a crew thing.
Okay.
Only because, well, so I'm a little iffy on both of those in that whether they mean crew or whether they're individual or their character motives. The working together thing, that's actually a new wrinkle for Sky. So I think that it applies in both cases. Like, I think because the group came together and actually did this, I think that makes a lot of sense. What was the drive behind the vice dens?
Part of it was power. Part of it was, I mean, he specifically mentioned the leaky bucket. That actually is definitely
there's a personal drive there. So yes, then it makes sense that it applies there.
Yeah. And then issues with my vice or traumas.
You at least 1 because of that circumstance, because of the long-term project with the reconciliation. So
okay. Everything for me, and then we have crew XP. So execute successful smuggling or acquire new clients or contraband sources. Not really. We talked about getting the train thing as part of a smuggling source, but we didn't actually do that. So
oh yeah, we didn't do
the whole train thing.
Sure.
I still don't have a lair. You'll give that?
I'll get you. You were working towards it, so yeah. Okay. You'll get to it eventually.
I'll help towards it next week.
Yes.
That's a next week problem.
But that's future Phantom.
Challenges above our current station. I don't think so. Well, I'll actually Spirit Wardens.
Okay.
Bolster crew's reputation, develop a new one. I think so. I think our professionalism might have come through in that conversation with Bowerstone.
Okay, as well. I agree.
And then goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. 2?
Because there was a lot of coordination and working together among the entire group for very specific set of goals. The bringing in of Slade to play Raymond for that, I think it was a masterful choice in how you all played it out. Even though Hocus and Sling were just kind of sitting back and ready to commit murder if necessary.
It's always good to be ready to commit murder, just in case.
And we always are.
So we advanced again. If you guys haven't been doing this so far, every time that we advance from XP, you should be taking 2 stash on your personal cruise ship. That's why. Yeah, so that's why it was mentioned last week. But yeah, you should have.
How many times have we advanced?
Yeah,
I've lost track.
It was it's 22 so far. Like it's.
But yeah, do that, and then we'll choose another thing. I think we might go with rovers for the train, assuming we get the train.
We will eventually.
Eventually.
What's going to wind up happening is something. I mean, the lightning tower is going to go online. Something horrible is going to happen at Coachella, and we will have just acquired our train, and we are going to be running through the streets to get to the train station.
Out.
And then they're going to be like, "We're off to Aruvia," and we're gone, and that'll be the end of the season.
Perfect. Don't.
Will that be the end of the season?
Hocus.
Jesus,
Oh.
will that be the end of the season? Come on, man. You're supposed
Do
to
you
leave
want
me
them
hanging
to
here.
watch or not?
No, because we already decided. Remember, the end season is the Boston Tea Party.
I'm sorry.
Come on,
The what?
guys.
It's the what?
The what?
The Doskval.
No, it's
The
the
Boston
Tea
Party.
The Boston. Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my god, yes, they're playing at
Boston
Coachella.
Tea Party is the hottest band. They're the headliner.
Yeah.
Everyone's just in the crowd
We
like,
need to fill up
what's
this.
Boston?
We really need to fill up this this set list here.
We do. It's left blank for.
It's an imaginary concert. You go and you just imagine
Oh.
music. You imagine your own.
Everybody just takes lure and it just kind of happens.
You fill out your own poster with who's playing in your own.
So that means
That
that
would
means
be more like
Coachella is
Godapalooza.
just that's just Steam standing
Listen,
and just bleeding out his eyes for everybody
Hocus.
to freak out.
Hocus, man, Hocus. Listen, Coachella
What?
is like it's a state of mind. It's not like it's not like a real. It's like a
Uh-huh.
state of being, you know. Like you just go and then
This
you're
is
just
burning
in the
goats.
This is
moment.
definitely a voice you used in Dream.
It's
Daddy.
burning goats. Instead
Oh my
of burning
God.
man, we have burning goats
Wait,
happening.
is burning goat? Is it like a barbecue or something?
Yeah,
Oh my god,
essentially.
I am so against this. I'm going to write to Doskval's version of Peter.
Going to tofu shell instead.
Tofu Chella.
That sounds gross and weird. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I quit.
I
You
eat
guys
tofu.
finally
At
got me
the
to quit
end of
tonight. I
it, we
quit.
burn the goat
I'm gonna-
as
I'm gonna-
a symbolism of letting go of our own old selves.
Oh my
Absolutely.
god.
And I'm gonna go and join the soy wardens right now.
Yeah, like you go to Coachella to like find yourself.
So, Johnny, sorry, not Johnny. Never mind. You can go ahead and leave.
We'll see you at Coachella.
I
Yeah.
keep looking over there,
Yeah.
and there's nobody over there.
Yeah. No, there's
And-
no one there.
So,
You
yeah.
gonna say? Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
going to say, are we going
I-
to do
I think-
outros? 'Cause
No,
at
no,
the
we're
end of the show.
we're probably gonna do those.
I'm throwing it back over to Speedy. You guys did amazing tonight. Good job.
Thank you. You also did amazing. I love you.
Point your thumbs down at me.
Yeah, we need to fill up this Coachella thing. If you guys have goat puns, that's an option. I think
Send them our way.
Send them our
also-
way.
we also mentioned the
Oh my
possibility
God.
of subs getting to add a band on the set list. I
That's
think
a really
that's a
good
really good
idea.
idea.
Can I-
So
That's a
if
really
you are
good
a
idea.
sub to this channel, go ahead and DM me, preferably on Discord, but if not, Twitch is fine.
You want?
With the name of a band that you would like on the Coachella poster.
She keeps raising her arm up into you. What's up with that?
I'm
Can
trying
I-
not to think about it, Mr.
can I-
I'm not a
can I-
puppet, Raymond
Can
Bauer.
I can I put forward a suggestion?
Are you a sub?
Can I? I am actually. So.
Yes.
Can we have Mapot send in the free kitten?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So wait a minute. Can I ask another question?
Are you a sub?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Can the Boston Tea Party be also on there?
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
The
Just
Boston
making
Tea
sure.
Party is not a band. It's more of like an event that happens within Coachella.
It's more like a
It's
state of mind.
It's like
Oh, so
a
it's one of the
separate-
villages?
It's like a dance room or something, you know?
It's a dance room.
Yeah, they'd have like pre-recorded music, gramophones or something, because it's
Oh my
there's
god.
not like a lot of speakers. Anyways, let's
ready
go
for
around
this.
to our cast and whatever, and ask them who they are and stuff. Trendane, I think you had something you said you were going to be doing this week.
I did. I said I was going to cover it at the end of the episode, and that would be this.
That's now. That's
so
this time.
Wow,
that would
it's
be
here?
this time. I know, it's practically the weekend, sort of tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, we have a convention out here in Northern California, in San Ramon, near Dublin Pleasanton, which is on the eastern side of the San Francisco Bay Area. And there's a convention there called Convolution, and I am one of the featured guests over there as a voice actor personage. And I have panels each of the 3 days, and what Johnny and I were talking about, kind of commiserating about, is the fact that on Saturday night is some contest thing to see who is the most filthy-mouthed person at the thing. So I fully plan
Oh, you're
to
going to
walk
win.
out of there with that
Oh,
crown.
wow.
Because
There is no competition.
If I can survive long enough, and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna record that damn thing so that at least privately everybody can see
Oh my
it.
god, yes.
My God.
Because I have a feeling
You'll
that it's
just
gonna.
walk into the room and they'll be like, yeah, no, he wins.
I feel like
Look,
that's
we've
kind of an
heard.
insult.
kind of, but it's a really cool insult. Anyway, so there's that. I was hoping that by tonight I would have been given permission to announce something else that I'm doing, but as of yet, that NDA is still in place and I can't say anything. So now I have to hope that I can make the announcement this weekend, which we'll see. But yeah, we'll see. Aside from that, I have been asked by the Escape Pod to narrate another short story, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do this one?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, okay." And I actually read it today, and I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god, this is really sad. This is going to be awesome." All right, I'm going to be bawling while I'm narrating this. This is going to be great. It's going to be wonderful.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's great, and the characters are gay, so it's wonderful.
Of course.
Excellent. So that would be me. Which way are we going? We're going up or down? Well, we can't go up to Johnny because you know. But I can drop it to Sling. You ready to catch?
I don't think she's ready.
I don't think.
Sling. Louise.
Oh, me! Sorry.
You're the
Paying
one
attention to
that's
chat.
under me right now. So,
Oh, I got confused. I'm never usually in this
I know.
position.
Yeah, but I want to leave the Coachella poster up.
right. You ready to catch?
I've never been more ready.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Boop. Drop it.
Oh,
Sorry. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I was
Sorry.
off the
Lots of fingers over there.
It,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It's okay.
Clean
Clean it
that.
up later. So,
Oh, it's-
yeah.
I mean, it was glass. I don't know why you threw glass at me, but
Well, what else do we have back here in this supply closet where we're hiding people
Oh,
and your
God.
brother?
Why are we in the glass closet? We could have gone to any closet. We had to go to the glass one. I'm Louise. I play Sling. And it's great and it's fun and I love it and I'd never change anything for the world. If you wanted to find me otherwise, I've got a few fun little plugs for you and you're gonna love it. You can follow me on Twitter at No More No Less. That's more spelled MOORE. You can follow me on Twitch at AccidentalLegend, and some more super duper exciting things that I'm actually really, really excited about. This weekend on Saturday, I'm not sure of the time because time zones really confuse me, but 11 p.m. Eastern. No, not Eastern, that's the wrong one. GMT, there you go. It's been a long day. 11 p.m. GMT, you do the
There's
conversion
a difference
yourself.
between those two.
Shut up. 11 p.m. GMT, whatever time that is for you. I'm going to be on the official D&D stream. We did it. I started last Saturday. We've got a whole 12-week campaign going on. It's absolutely insane. I love it, and it's so cool. So if you guys want to come and support, that would be fantastic. Also, you can check me out on the Wonder Quest podcast, which is a beautiful podcast with some beautiful people, and it makes me happy that I'm a part of all these wonderful things. There's so many wonderful people, especially my wonderful Phantom. And yes, that's me. I'll get some of the the glass shards. Is that okay? And then I'll just
Yeah, and then
Throw
just
them.
throw them
Chuck
at
them in.
is that
Joff.
is
Yeah,
that sound
yeah.
okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, let me just.
throw them at
I'll
Joff
just-
and
Oh, ow.
Wait, what?
Oh.
You know what they say? People in glass supply closets shouldn't throw glass.
I didn't throw it. I just it's not my fault. She's playing with butter while we're in.
I'm bleeding heavily, but
We'll talk to Ari.
I'm just gonna put this down for a second.
Sexual
Hi,
healing.
my name is Joff. You may know me as Owlbare here on Twitch and over on Twitter. That's Owlbare. Bear as in, not as in. grr. Can I plug stuff? I think I can plug stuff.
Whoa.
Okay.
Holy crap. Not only do I have a charity stream, it's a ways off. It's on November 4th, and it's an Extra Life charity stream in support of the Children's Miracle Network Hospital thing. It's on the same.
that's
it's on
the
the
official
same
title.
That's the official title. It's on the same day as Wizards of the Coast is doing their stream with their team, the D&D team, running a 24 to 48 hour stream. It's kind of a little bit more flexible this year as opposed to previous years. Myself and two of my friends, including I Lived in a Cake and Monkey Boy from Twitter, we're running an 8-hour stream, which is going to be 2 one-shots. I'm DMing one of them. Evan, Monkey Boy, is DMing the other. We're going to have an auction. We're going to have raffles. We're going to have giveaways in chat. It's actually going to be pretty damn awesome. That's November 4th. Prior to that, we're running some homebrew D&D 5e one-shots called Shady Acres, which is going to be a group of retired adventurers in a retirement village fighting evil one last time. It's going to be hilarious.
It'll be amazing.
Our players have generated characters which have old age impairments, and it will play out hilariously. Some of them are random. They're generated by a table that myself and I Lived in a Cake wrote. It's going to be great. That's being broadcast on October 20th. I'm DMing, and October 27th. I'm DMing. November 3rd. Look at that. November 3rd. Cake is DMing. It's going to be hilarious, and I'll keep reminding you throughout the month. And I'm done. MadameGandalf, here is some blood-covered glass.
Thank you.
Yeah. That looks weird.
Yeah.
Woo. Today was a great day. It was an intense day, and it's going to be interesting to see where we might be able to take some things in the future. But I'm hoping that we'll actually be able to come up with a really solid plan that goes according to plan. But knowing us, we'll make a plan, abandon the plan, and it'll all be going according to the plan.
What if our plan is to make everyone think we don't have a plan, but really, they're right?
Yeah. What are you doing telling them we don't actually have a plan? They're supposed to think we do. Like, we totally
I
know
mean,
what
our plan. We have a other plan.
The plan.
The plan.
The plan.
But my name is MadameGandalf. You can find me everywhere on Twitter and Twitch and Instagram and all of that jazz as MadameGandalf. I am a variety caster here on Twitch. You can catch me, here. You can catch me on Encounter Roleplay. You can catch me over doing the Jackass podcast on Jack Lafia. And also October 14th at 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern, I'll be part of the Scare-a-thon, the charity Scare-a-thon event over on UGR Gaming's channel. We are going to be raising money for the charity One Up, and we will also have giveaways from Steel Series and GameStop, to name but a few. So come by, raise money for charity, watch me shit myself live because I am terrible at scary games. Trendane can tell you.
This is going to be like, it wasn't the game that was getting you. It was your alerts that were really freaking you out is what it was.
It was the people. And they will have freaking jump scare alerts during that as well.
Awesome.
So you can come by and get me to defecate. On to you.
Oh, what a
That's all
nice
anyone's ever
transition.
wanted.
Defecate for charity.
Speaking of
On to you,
defecation,
Speedy.
hi guys. I'm Speedy.
What a segue. What a segue.
At least, you know what? At least there wasn't broken glass involved.
I can get you some. I've got some left on the floor.
No, that's okay. Because then it would have to pass through me, and we've already been talking about no.
No. But yeah, I am Speedy. Actually, I really enjoyed today's episode. It was really awesome. Getting to have Slade on for a while and like having that conversation with him. Prime. God damn that quote.
Okay.
And you know, the whole scene with Lyra was like really really cool. I'm excited about being able to reconcile her soon, hopefully. And you know, I'll let Johnny talk about himself a little bit more before I end things off.
I can't follow up with scatological humor. There's nothing I can do that's better than
We
that.
can give you some broken
There's
glass.
nothing better than poop jokes. It's just a fact. It's just the pinnacle of humor.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, and if you want proof, show up Saturday night.
Let me guess. It basically boils down to dick and fart jokes, right? That's what you're gonna.
Mike, please. I want to go to that.
All right, I'm just gonna because I need to make dinner and then I'm gonna go see Blade Runner after we get off of this. So I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I'm Johnny. I run the Video Store Cowboy channel. I'm also the GM for 6 and 20. These lovely people are awesome. They are one of 3 shows that we do for 6 and 20. Tonight's Phantom here on Speedy's channel. Tuesday nights we do my channel with the Tuesday crew, who I think has finally decided on a crew name. I'm not quite sure, but we'll find out.
Can we know what it is? Can we know what it is?
I still haven't like gotten the confirmation, so I will make sure that you guys know when I know. And then we do Wednesday night on Unmade Gaming's channel, on Mike's channel, and Slade was a guest star from that particular crew, the Shroud, tonight. I want to say thank you again to Slade. He was awesome.
Yes.
It was completely unexpected. Again, this particular show
It was
seems
so
to run
unexpected. It broke
really
my
well.
computer.
That's true.
It broke my
It did, and it was an
entire-
amazing. It was an amazing picture too. So
Yeah, just that.
So other than this, or other than 6 and 20, you can see me occasionally doing some variety streaming. And this Sunday, for the first time, I'm actually going to go over on to Encounter RP, and I'm going to be part of one of their 12-hour stream one-shots. So,
Whoa!
so I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern is the first one. So I'll see you guys there then.
Nice.
And with that,
I'm so excited.
thanks.
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, did a fantastic job again today, as always. I appreciate you putting up with me adding in additional backstory 2 hours before we went live. That completely changes everything, or some things at least. But yeah, thank you so much. A few other announcements. We still have our Blades in the Dark fan art giveaway going on, so the link is in chat right there. I know a lot of people have been putting in some really, really awesome submissions.
Much good art.
If you want,
I'd like to see some writing as well.
Yes, I've heard tell of some
I
fan
want
fiction that
them.
is in the works.
Lies.
I have a
Fiction.
great erotic friend fiction
She does.
between Slade and Speedy, and it is
so good.
incredible.
It's so
Wait. Not between Raymond and Sky, but Slade and Speedy?
Slade and Speedy.
It's so good.
All right. After this is all over, I'm gonna say this right now. After this is all over, this contest is over, and we get some of these fanfics in. I want that to actually be in there. I will arrange to have a reading for all of them on my channel,
Oh
and
my
we will
God.
just read them all live.
Yes. Yes.
You guys are in for a treat.
When-
It is
during mine,
beautiful.
I want to request that we have Careless Whisper.
I will make
Just
whatever.
an instrumental of it in the background, please.
Do you have it saved anywhere? Or are we gonna have to try and find it?
He deleted the VOD. What? That it was in. So I'm gonna have
You'll
to
have to
rewrite it.
rewrite it.
And it'll be better, and it'll be more graphic.
Do we need a tea and typing stream where you write it live?
Yes!
Oh,
Tea and typing stream. It's coming.
oh my god! All right, we're making all of this
Erotic
happen.
friend fiction tea and typing stream.
Over
Is
to
that
you
even
again.
allowed on Twitch? I hope so.
It is now.
It is now.
Listen, that's the nice thing about writing, Slade. Consensus.
That's the great part about fanfic. Absolutely.
God. Well,
It
on that
involved
note-
the certain video.
Oh no!
Oh my
Oh
god!
god!
Oh, yes.
God! Not that.
Wait, is that still a thing? Is that? Hang on.
It is a thing.
No.
It
No,
is.
I mean on
No,
the
Exclamation
alerts.
mark
Why-
gay bar.
It may be a
Come on,
thing
please, please,
for a
please.
$5.69
Yes.
donation.
There it is. There.
No, there it is right there.
Yeah, there it is too. Yeah.
Should I go get my masturbatory sock?
Oh yeah.
The one that you own. That's all you need.
Speedy, you better end this now. We better just hand this
we
off to
should
somebody
really end
else.
This is really just going.
This is getting worse and
completely
worse by the
downhill.
moment.
Thank you guys all so much for coming out here and watching. I feel like I had more announcements to talk about. We have merch, !620 merch in chat. We'll bring up that. There's the awesome t-shirts and stuff. Also, keep an eye on my Discord if you haven't already. I posted something. I'm in the works of possibly making some merch for the channel of my own, which I'm excited about. I made like I mocked up a little thing. It looks pretty damn cool. It's in the Slow Picks channel if you are at all interested.
I'm going there now.
But yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Wait, are you the little girl with the machete?
Yeah, that's me. That's it. Yes.
Oh my
that's the
god, I
merch.
love it.
But
I
yeah,
want 20.
I'll be hoping to make some of that soon. Yeah, join the Discord, follow on Twitter. I really appreciate it. Get the word out. Make sure to tell all your friends that this is a thing. And we will see you all next week. Wait, I forgot to find someone to raid. Shit.
Oh,
Been talking for so long as if I was stalling, but I wasn't stalling because I wasn't looking.
I blame you.
Yeah, I blame me too. That's fine. We can find someone to raid really quickly. I see Henley, another awesome D&D streamer. So we're gonna go ahead and raid him.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Currently playing some Shadowrun. So there is in
Lucky
chat,
them.
Copy and paste that NotSoSpeed raid. With or without the sub emote, depending on who you are, and we will go over there, spam his chat a little bit, and show them.
Make sure you tell them Boston Tea
Boston Tea Party. Yeah, and if you copy paste that raid as it is exactly, you will receive in-chat currency or whatever. So do that.
And if you add Boston Tea Party, you'll receive my currency of my love.
Yes, exactly.
which applies to everything.
Everything.
All right. So thank you guys so much. You guys are all absolutely amazing as usual. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you all next time. And as always, no matter what happens, don't forget to take it slow. Bye.